Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're here, we're live, and we're not quite snowed under anymore. The snow is dissipated, but we're still in the festive spirit, getting ready for a wee bit of hogmanay, as we say in Scotland, or New Year's Eve to everyone else. And we're here for the Deadline Show. As ever, I'm Quinny, and I'm joined by my co-host, my co-pilot, Harry Trades. Harry, my man, good to see you.
Good to see you, mate. Merry Christmas. I haven't seen you for a little while, to be fair. So, yeah, gutted I had to leave last week's stream a little bit early, but all good. And it's been a nice little festive period.
Yeah, for sure. I actually forgot about the mania that we had. Actually, it's like, oh my God, where am I? Yeah, of course, Harry. I forgot all about that from last week. You had to dive off halfway through. We've got you back from your trial, your medical. I don't know if it was failed or whatever in Saudi Arabia, but you're back. The deal hasn't went through. I've totally forgot all about that, Harry. I'm terribly sorry. But yeah, Christmas has been, it's been one of those weeks where, like, a lot, I don't know about you guys, but for me, a lot has happened. And it's been a long ass week. But I was back yesterday doing some podcast action, End Products was out, and a wee bit of Satara here stuff. And so yeah, it's been all over the place. But yeah, Harry, I can't believe that totally slipped off my mind. We've been back there just getting set up for the show and everything, and I totally forgot how it all shaped up since I'd last seen you, of course. It's just been so much going on. What about yourself over, how is everything? And, what about over the festive period? What were you up to yourself?
Yeah, I've been pretty busy, to be fair, like outside of, the Sorare sphere and content and stuff, just because my girlfriend's been visiting for the last couple of weeks. So she flew over a couple of weeks ago. She leaves on Sunday. So yeah, like it's been a bit of a to try and balance everything and see her and whatever, and yeah, spend time with everyone, families, and we've had all sorts going on here, to be honest. So it's been fun, but like I said, I have unfortunately had to put Sorare and definitely content to the side for a little bit. Barring today, obviously I've got a nice bit of free time right now to get this. Is my favorite bit of content I make, to be honest. So yeah, mate, no, it's been class. I've loved every second of it. Seen a lot of friends, obviously. Yeah, spent a lot of time with my girlfriend, which has been nice. And just ready to sort of crack on in this new year now and sort of get going again.
Yeah, likewise. And it should be a good one. The last couple of game weeks, we had the Deadline Show last Friday, obviously, and last weekend was topsy-turvy. There was lots of big scores. There was lots of decisions made in error for myself. I definitely screwed myself over with some last-minute changes. But then it was funny, right, because the next game week, it kind of just still felt like festive. It didn't really feel, so I didn't do too great over the last two game weeks, but because both the prizes, the way the game weeks, it feels like one big game week almost. So it's been quite busy, quite active, and as we get into the stream today, obviously the highlight of the week, I think, for every Sorare scouting manager that gets that last minute bit of detail in with the predicted lineups, injury news and stuff like I'm hearing about. Carter Vickers not training for Celtic ahead of the derby. We've got the weekend as well, after being subbed off injured or what against Dundee last weekend. There's tons of stuff that we'll be having to keep up to date with. There'll be press conferences kind of happening out on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it. And also as well, Harry, I was telling you before we came on that I've got 2 tickets to give away to the derby. I'll be going, McBride will be going, we'll be there, and we've got 2 tickets to give away to the game as well. I'm doing a competition on my Instagram at Quinny3001 with an underscore. You'll find the details on Twitter as well to jump over there. But yeah, get involved, and the winner will be given away. We'll find out the winner of both those tickets. One winner, 2 tickets. Later tonight on the Celtics Are Here YouTube channel. I think that stream is going to kick off at 5:00 tonight. So plenty of action. It's all gung-ho for us this game week, Harry. We're going for the podiums. We're going for goals. That's what we're after in this festive period. And the best place for us to start, obviously, is first of all, make sure you like the stream, get comfy, and let's see what we've got for the matchups tab. The movers and shakers of the weekend.
Yeah, some big fixtures to get stuck into for sure. I mean, just as like a side note from the sort of Man City at the top situations, we've got a lot of double game weeks going on in the Champ. So Champ play all tonight, and they play all Monday, I believe, or something along the lines of that. So yeah, there's some really interesting situations there. I don't know if the matchup tab is going to actually show us both matchups for every championship club. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. Like, okay, the Southampton one, yeah, they play Plymouth tonight, I believe. Then they play like away to Norwich in the second one. So I don't know if that'll actually show up in here. Hopefully it does. Gives us a better sort of read on things. But yeah, if you want to start with, City, the treble winners from last year at home to Sheffield United. I mean, Jesus Christ. I watched them play. What was their last game, City? Everton away.
Foden, oh man, that's for you watch
Yeah.
Foden.
Oh God, mate. Foden, Jesus Christ. What an... I mean, Bernardo as well. We could speak about a couple of them, really. Alvarez, they were all exceptional. Just, took their chances in that sense. But Jesus, man, at home to Sheffield United. What more can you ask for, Quinny?
It's kind of what you want, isn't it? And everyone's been saying over the last week or so, City will go on a 16-win streak or something like that, and they'll just turn up and they'll go into gear. And I was a wee bit dubious about that happening, right? But I heard the quotes from Guardiola. I was between Guardiola and Guardiola, sorry, but from Pep, from Pep saying, like, after they won the Club World Cup thing, they're flying back on the plane. The players were already talking about, that was a quote that came out. He's like, they were already talking about playing Everton. They were already talking about, and he's like, and for us now, this is the new season, So it was a real, that, the Everton game does feel like potentially at a page turn moment in Man City season, but it's now like, right, okay, back to the league. So yeah, Bernardo Silva, that goal just felt pure training pitch, didn't it? Like,
it was crazy because, like, about 20 minutes before that, someone laid him on the edge of the box and he skied it over the butt, like miles over. And, like, it wasn't similar because this one was basically an open goal in a weird way. But, like, it was just nice for him for that second one to sort of come off properly. And the technique on that was absolutely out of this world. The way he, like, was able to just wrap it and get over it in that sense. And Jesus Christ. And there was a defender trying to, like, hook it out at the same time. It was just perfect. But yeah, no, Everton. I thought Everton were good. Like, Everton played well, I thought, in patches. Man City looked rattled in a lot of ways, but yeah, obviously the quality came and shone through, and just some really good individual performances there. But yeah, man, a home to Chef. I know. Did they? Yeah, they lost to. No, did they beat Luton? Didn't they? Sheffield. I'm sure they did.
That's definitely a game I've not get any memory of. I don't think I caught it.
There was a 3-2. Someone in the chat will have to let me know, but there was a 3-2 this last game week or whenever, where Chef played Luton. I'm pretty sure it was 3-2 to Chef in the end. So they'll be. I mean, for them to get a win there, I know it's Luton, but regardless, it's still a massive win. But yeah, this will be really tough on it. I just can't see. I can't see anything than a bit of a Man City romping, but it's just getting the team right. Obviously, coveted 50-50. There's a couple of ones that you might want to not avoid, but there's situations. Luton won, 3-2 to Luton. My bad. Yeah. There was a 3-2 somewhere. I just couldn't remember who. But yeah, no, very similar team to midweek against Everton, and I just can't see anything than this is the fixture, isn't it? Premier League wise, obviously for the winter comp, and then you're going to see those City players fluttered around in under 23s and gas and wherever basically.
Yeah. It's definitely the defense is kind of the hardest bit because with the Stones picking up an injury as well, it kind of adds another like problem in there. Like how does he cope with the team around that? Because he's had a few different options, so it does throw a few more question marks up for what should be the more dominant team. But I think you can see the likes of Bernardo, Foden, Alvarez, like they're nailed on. Ruben Diaz if he's fit, Walker. But the second team here, you don't maybe have quite that. Let's just say, for lack of a better term, appeal, on the SO5 scoring at home at Chavez, but for Porto, second highest rated fixture of the weekend. Probability of the win, what's that, 80%?
Yeah, 80%. It's massive. I was looking at Chavez's like recent results. They are like dire. I think this is more of a reflection on how bad Chavez are than Porto obviously are a good team in that league. Let's not get it twisted, but like we always say, they're not that great SO5 wise, but Chavez are literally the worst team in the league. So this is kind of obviously tonight as well, 8:45. All the Portuguese games are tonight, I believe. I know Benfica is as well. I'm not sure about, are they all?
No, it's not
all of them. Couple Saturday then, fair enough. And then Benfica, Porto tonight, both at home. I can see the Evan Nielsen's and your Pepe's, Galanos. The main sort of players are fit, barring maybe a Pepe at the back. Even though we not slate Porto, but we don't really talk too highly of them, do we, as an SO5 sort of team? And that's just the brutality of it. But, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Because, like, Benfica have not been either, if we're being honest. None of the Portuguese teams really have been that good this season, as far as SO5 goes, for the majority of it. So, in a weird way, it's all up for grabs in that sense. Like, who is the king of sort of Portugal as far as, SO5 goes? I think this could be, not Porto's night, but I do think a lot of these players will score very high tonight, like incredibly high. A couple of, maybe 100 or two, maybe from maybe a Taremi, Pepe on the wing. there's definitely 100 capable players here, and their L15s aren't like stupidly high, barring maybe Estaquios and Evan Nielsen. So yeah, so they're definitely an interesting matchup, 100%.
Definitely feels like a Taremi 100, doesn't it? This kind of game, and then like whoever feeds them the most, it might be like with Porto, you always get a random other scorer. I think in these games, like it might be Jao Mario at right back, or it might be this left back Zanussi or something like that. But
100%.
somebody else will just pop up double decisive with 38, and somehow like, oh, why didn't I get that guy at L15 of 43? Because it looks so easy in hindsight, as always. And then we quite quickly come into that championship situation now. I don't know if Leicester, what their double game week situation looks like.
So they play down here. They're at Cardiff tonight.
So Cardiff is the
Cardiff away
part of the game week, and that's away. And the second half of the game week is Huddersfield. So we'll try and have a peek at both those lineups, because that does kind of make up how good they are this game week, I think. Because you do get that second roll of the dice. This is how Cardiff are predicted to line up. I'm not too sure how many cards we have here. Outside Gutas and like maybe Gutas, one or the other.
Maybe might only be Gutas actually right there.
Look at that Leicester team, all firing, all L15 60 pluses, L5s are 60 pluses, all over the place. Really strong, really predictable team as well.
It'll be a tough game away to Cardiff, for them away to Cardiff. I'm not. Yeah, I still think they'll get a result. To be honest, we're not really in a great run of form recently, Cardiff. So, I predict a Leicester win here. Tough to say if they're going to get the clean sheet tonight, but I do think Leicester are probably good for the clean sheet in that Huddersfield game. So it's such a luxury to have this double game week for champ cards, like McBride says. Like you literally can't ask for anything more. Like it's literally a bit of a cheat code, isn't it?
Yeah. For sure. It's predicted to be the same lineup over both matches. I guess you probably think, but then it limits your 90-minute potential for some of them.
Potentially, but you also got to think, like, the guy who's made that for the second one, like, he hasn't got a scoop. Like, no one has a Scooby, do they? People could get injured tonight. So, it's all about, just sort of playing it by ear in that sense. But, I don't think it depends on the results, doesn't it? Of course, it depends. If Leicester don't get a result at Cardiff, they draw 1-1 or they lose potentially, then, they're going to go full strength if they can on that Huddersfield game. So, or it's a weird dynamic, but definitely a good one for us Sorare players.
Yeah, so that's Leicester reigning high in the league, looking good in a double game week and a festive period. And also right behind them is Leeds United, who are fourth in the championship at the moment, playing West Brom away. Now, I'm not too sure how good West Brom are. We'll check them out on the table. And then on the other half of their double game week, they will be at home to Wayne Rooney's infamous Birmingham City. So probably two good fixtures here for Leeds as well. A lot of cards in this lineup as well. A lot of... that front four is a very stackable setup, isn't it, across a few lineups? So if they're all on playing, Nonto's been rubbish so far this year, obviously, but Somerville and Rutter have been the headline makers. It could be a great double game week for them. Yeah,
they struggled. Who did they play? They played Preston on TV a couple of days ago, Leeds. They actually lost the game, I believe. Maybe 2-1. Yeah, it was a really good goal from
West Brom.
Yeah, West Brom are a good team. So, Dan James normally starts instead of Willie Gnotto, so I think it might be a bit of a rotation there for Gnotto coming in, and then Dan James probably plays the second game, I assume. But they're going to need a result, like I said, because of that Preston game not going their way. But Birmingham's, Jesus, they're probably the best team to play right now, or one of the better teams to play if you're Leeds. Because Birmingham are struggling right now, so.
Wayne Rooney took over, they were in the playoffs or something, weren't they?
Yeah,
it's pure weird that they sacked their manager.
They haven't won a game in 10 or something. I can't remember the stat, but it's something not ideal for Wayne Rooney's resume. Yeah,
it was just always destined to fail. It was just such a weird one. So really good situation there for Leeds. Maybe more the second game rather than the first. But even with the first game, the championship, I don't think you look at championship players and worry about these fixtures because you're just after action. And these top of the table clashes can be, end to end, box office, goals galore, all that caper, And then, by the way, there's a lot of Friday night action. So I think everything we've looked at so far has been Friday night action. And we're keeping that up by, except for Man City, actually. Man City must be, when are Man City? Tomorrow at 3. Yeah. But the next one we've got here is, again, back to Portugal for Friday night. Like you mentioned earlier, Benfica. So, and they're at home to Famalicão. They're your boys, Harry, aren't they?
They are my boys, my adopted boys. Outside of, but to be fair, Benfica are my boys as well. It's literally both the teams that I kind of follow, mostly in Portugal, playing each other. So it'll be a good game. I think Benfica end up, winning it. But for Militao aren't they're no mugs at all. Like let's be like factual about it. They're a decent team. They're no Chavez. So I think this will be tighter in an obvious way, I guess, than the Porto game. Benfica are missing a few players. I think Di Maria's on holiday still in Argentina. Otamendi's away, so they're missing the big timers. So I think that Thomas Araujo's coming in at centre back instead of Otamendi. João Neves goes out to the wing instead of Di Maria, so that means Florentino Luis hopefully starts in that centre mid role instead of João Neves. So yes, it's sort of it's still a very good Benfica team. But you just never know. It's weird, but we know what Benfica have been like this year, and that's not great. I know they're still flying high in the league, but you just never know. I'm not saying they're not going to go out and win, but like for Militao aren't, they're no mugs at all.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just catching up with a bit of the chat there. Sorry, so I was just looking at there's Deaky Boy in the house. Good to see you, my man. So I was just having a look at the team as we were kind of thinking about it there. So I'm pretty sure people were getting a wee bit more excited about Cockchu recently, but the L5 of 47, it doesn't really show at a glance. Also, I'm sure we can go and look why. But I get you. But maybe this is a game where Florentino Luis is in the team, Rafa Silva, João Mario. It's a bit Portuguese dominance, a wee bit of domestic. They just turn them over 3-0 or something. Maybe it's not that helter-skelter,
Yeah.
And if Cockchu is in a wee swagger moment, he's got a wee game to maybe do well. I don't know. This João Neves, by the way, did I see that he's been sold or he's about to go?
There's been rumours. I don't know, but yeah, he is the next big thing to leave that that club, if that makes sense. I don't know the actual rumour as far as where he's rumoured to go, but all the big clubs are sort of sniffing around him, or bigger clubs, shall we say.
I wasn't sure if I'm pretty sure I've seen something over the holidays and it was it's like one or two teams are right pushing, about to make it happen. Just have a wee.
I think it was United were one of them, or maybe someone else.
Oh, was it?
It might have been. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but there's definitely some real big clubs after him. Yeah, he's class. So good.
PSG, City, and United. Aye, okay. City and United.
Yeah.
I think when I seen that, I maybe thought, that'll be getting serious now, because City have just went and bought Echeverri and then loaned them back. So City are building up the gallery. They're building in their depth. They're trying to build in some under 23 talents for tomorrow. And they're doing the right
best, of course.
That's it. Cover those midweeks,
and those South America midweeks, you just can't beat them.
No, you cannot. Man City are getting right involved. Love it. And then again, Friday night championship action. Southampton are going to be at home on Friday night. That must be then to Plymouth Argyle, like we mentioned, or you mentioned earlier, Harry.
Yeah.
And Southampton are really turning up in a big way, I think, this season. That although they're not top, they're third. They're in that real top end push along with Ipswich and Leicester. And again, team looks really solid. I'm really surprised. I'm getting really tempted to get a THB, maybe at Rare or something. I think it's quite cheap. Again, under 23 defenders. There's enough of them going around nowadays. But it's a well-built little team they've got here. And, I think with, we're talking about this on the podcast yesterday with Stish, but not all these teams will get promoted, maybe one or two of them don't,
Yep.
And so there can be some fun to be had beyond this season and one or two of these teams, let's say. But Southampton have definitely been impressing, and Plymouth at home. Plymouth is normally a big journey. They need to travel quite far, but maybe not this time.
Yeah, like you said, not for Southampton. Normally for other clubs, yeah.
So
it's still a fair track, but Plymouth, Southampton. At the start of the season, I was getting a few pelters for my Bazunu shouts, but he's eventually come good. Well, Southampton have come good. It's one of them, isn't it? The goalie can't be that good unless the team's good. It's just as simple as that. Or the defense at least. Howard Bellis has come in, like you said, Bednarek. Stevens is back from injury, so they've just got a lot more depth at in defense right now, and they're just keeping clean sheets as good teams do, and obviously scoring a lot of goals. They've got a few injuries. Stuart Armstrong's for some reason, he started the last game, but they think he's going to sort of drop out of this one for whatever reason, or maybe suspended. I can't remember what the reason was, but he didn't really have a good game. I remember Sam Tye telling us. But yeah, Dozie's been on fire. Adam Armstrong's been on fire. Ryan Fraser came off the bench and scored 2 last games. So I think that's kind of why he's in there. But yeah, no, I'm buzzing for Southampton just because, yeah, I've got a bit on stake with them in that sense. And yeah, double game week for them. I think Norwich is their second game. So you'd like to think that this is where the bigger scores are going to come from, even though Norwich, like, I'll be honest, haven't been that great recently. Lot of injuries. So, it's a depleted, Norwich team in ways. Obviously, yeah, McLean at the back there with Big Shane. And I think Borja Sainz got red carded last game. So I don't know if so he'll play the second game, hopefully, if he's back in that sense. And yeah, I think Southampton have the better sort of double fixture over maybe the Leeds and Leicester one. It's marginal, but I still think it's a little bit better because of this home fixture against Plymouth.
Yeah, it is tight. But I think all those teams we've looked at there, yeah, like they're all ones that could be quite punchy and get right in amongst it. And like punchy and getting right in amongst it on the leaderboards, like last season and this season, one of the poster children of that, or poster childs, I don't know how you would say that, is Villa. And they're at home to Burnley, who are down there with Southampton, I beg your pardon, Chef U. It was 2 points separating those two teams, yeah. Burnley, 2 points ahead of Chef U, 18 scored, 38 conceded in 19 matches. And Villa dropped some points recently. It's probably put a wee dent in some confidence, but they did win some points that they really had no right to earn on paper in terms of fixture planning and stuff. So I don't think it's really derailed them too much if they keep the form up and they go and beat a Burnley, for example. And team looks pretty full strength to me. Douglas Luiz looks to be back in. Jacob Ramsey, Zaniolo might play this one. Maybe Diaby, depending on, I don't know what that would be, maybe rotation or something. Zaniolo looked okay when he came off the bench. In one of the games recently, obviously scored.
Yeah.
And Burnley are, Burnley.
Burnley. I don't know. I think Burnley won their last game, didn't they? So I don't know. It's an interesting one. Like you said, yeah, Villa have slipped up a few times over the last couple of games, and that United game will definitely take it out of them. Being 2-0 up and losing that would definitely, obviously just a really disappointing situation considering how good they've been at keeping leads and holding on to games and seeing them through. So yeah, it's an interesting one, definitely. But like you said, you can't really ask for a better home fixture to kind of bounce back from, can you? So I think Villa win it, but I don't think it'll be like a stupid scoreline, if I'm being honest. I think it'll be relatively tight. Burnley will go there with a bit of confidence after last game and stuff, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a little 2-0, 2-1 maybe.
Second highest scorers in the division, 40 goals scored over 19 games. I don't know. I think they're going for blood. I think they're going for blood in this one. But Villa reigning high on this one as well.
And then we've got Sporting back to Portugal.
Yeah, the Portuguese trifecta reigning.
Don't they? Yeah, they always, you won't see them up there on their own. They're always together in some capacity on this matchups tab, aren't they?
Yeah, they've always got a bit of action together, it seems, for sure. The defence has much changed, it must be said. Nuno Santos back in at left back, Jesus. Matthias Reis, Diamande in at centre back. He's starting to get links and starting to get a name for himself in some of the scouting pages. It seems this Quaresma guy, I think, has a bit of a reputation growing as well. And then, I don't know, the right back, Marita and Pote in midfield. The front three, very fast, very effective. Yeah. Away from home, should be a good game for Sporting Club de Portugal.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, Porto Muniz are struggling 13th on in the league, so it's a good fixture to have. But like, no Coates. Coates is injured.
Yep.
No Ignacio as well. So defensively, I don't really love this game for Sporting. Just going off who they're missing in that sense. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. I think they'll score a couple, but I would not be surprised if they concede a couple as well. To be honest, especially away from home.
Yeah, Adan on L15 of 43. Hard to think he gets above that, eh?
Yeah, this is the type of game where he probably makes a save or two, but obviously concedes maybe the 1 or 2 as well. So you're looking at probably 0 to 10 AA is kind of what that feels like, doesn't it? I'd be very shocked if they keep a clean sheet here, just with, like I said, with the defence that they're sort of missing.
Yeah, not their usual selves. 15 goals conceded. By comparison, Benfica, who we had said earlier have been notably poor this year, have only conceded 10. Porto only conceding 11. So it might seem like splitting hairs, but really at the top end of these leagues, that's what it is. It's so fine, the margins that split them in terms of quality and whatever. And then Atalanta, who are a club I always like to see reigning high on the matchups tab, but never really where is this? Top 10, isn't it?
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. Yeah.
Oh, now listen, Harry. This has got a bit of special sauce on it. This fixture already, because this is an 11:30 Saturday game UK time.
Ooh.
And those early games, those mad early Italian games, are always a wee bit crazy. Sometimes, we've all looked at the fixtures and went, I don't need to watch that game. I'll wait until the lunchtime one, and then you look at it later on, or you see Twitter or whatever, and it's like 4-2, or penalties are happening and crazy red cards or whatever. So, Atalanta at home to Lecce in a crazy early weekend kickoff feels like a good one.
Doesn't it? Atalanta probably, if any Italian team are, involved in the sort of the most, the games with the most goals in them, to be honest. So at home as well, Lecce aren't that good of a team, but they just they sneak weird results. I'm kind of familiar with them now. I have that Stravezza card, so I follow them. They don't seem to win many games, but they always seem to score in a game. And in a game like we said against Atalanta, this feels like a 3-1, 4-1, 4-2 situation for Atalanta. I would say, just as like a wild guess. But like you said, early kickoff as well. Italy, just before New Year's. I don't know. It just feels like there's goals in this.
Yeah, big time. Coop Miner's coming into his own in that kind of number 10 role, it seems. And Lookman, De Ketelaere, even the bench is pretty good at Atalanta as well. Just having a look at the table and whatnot. 28 goals scored for them. 20 conceded, 23 conceded for Lecce. And like you say with Lecce, they've got 8 draws, only 4 victories. They've only lost 5 times.
They draw a lot of games, to be fair. They really do.
I know John's got I've seen the team there. John's got the goalkeeper, the boy Falcone here. L5 a 60, L15 a 53. So the goalkeeper's handy as well. He does his bit. So fair play to him. But maybe a game week that Atalanta get some big scores on the board here. 26 points. We'd put them on to 29, putting a lot of pressure on Roma and Napoli and Fiorentina, trying to get into, because now for Italy it's 5 Champions League spots for next year. And not only that, but the Champions League next year guarantees you 4 home games, which is one more than previous, 33% rise. So mad money on the cards for all the clubs that can squeeze into there. So the games like this, man, none of these Italian teams really can or should be taking them lightly now.
100%.
I don't know why this game is up here, Harry. The next game we're coming to is Liverpool at home to Newcastle, which I don't know why this is that good. I know Newcastle's form is dipped and whatnot, but a top 15, top 20 fixture of the weekend? Liverpool?
I mean, I think this is probably a case of the fixture is, I don't know. The fixture itself, doesn't seem great, but I don't think there's that many better, if that makes sense. Okay. I'm just looking down the list here. You could argue, is Tottenham at home to Bournemouth better than Liverpool at home to Newcastle? I don't know. I don't know. No. Bournemouth's on good foot. It's a weird one, isn't it? I know what you mean. It's
Luton,
but away. Luton at home. You know what they're like.
Chelsea are rubbish, I know, but
Chelsea and Luton just seem to score goals and get weird results at home. So I don't think that is. I'd argue this Liverpool game. I know Newcastle. Are they as depleted as they've been in the last couple of games? Probably not. Isak back, Botman, Gordon. There's a couple of players back there that kind of weren't playing. Obviously the goalie's a big miss, but you can't really do much about that one. I mean, it's a weird one, isn't it? That Newcastle team looks strong to me. It really does.
Yeah. I think that is a very strong team. There's a wee bit of discussion in the comment section here about the forward line. A lot of people think Gakpo and Jota are in to start on merit of some sort. So I think Núñez is probably... I would think Núñez would start this one. I've not been following Liverpool too closely. And I've thought Jota was getting into form and getting into praise again. So I'd be surprised to see him dropped, just personally from a distance looking at this. But the Newcastle team has been mainly ticking on. I think they've just ran out of gas. They really need a bit of time off, maybe. They've not played this midweek, have they, Newcastle? Or did they? How many days off do they have between fixtures? I just think they need a wee break, man. I think once this Newcastle team can sit down for a minute and take a breath, they'll probably find a wee bit of form that they've just started to lose, because I think they've been just on redlining the revs for so long with this team. It's just breaking down a little bit.
To be fair, They lost to Forest last game 3-1. They lost to Luton before that. They lost to Chelsea in the Cup. They beat Fulham in the league. Then they lost to Milan. Like they've lost 6 out of their last 7 games, which is nuts if you really think about it. That's in all comps, of course. But so I can kind of in a weird way kind of see why this is probably up there in that sense. It's Liverpool at home, isn't it? I know, they haven't been that good really, but like it's still Liverpool at home, and I just think, I don't know. I still think that this is probably a Liverpool win for me, unless Newcastle can turn this sort of poor vein of form around.
Fair. I think this is a good one for definitely for the neutrals to be watching for sure, because Liverpool Newcastle is one of those goals galore Premier League games. It's always action in this. Even doesn't matter what version of Newcastle, what version of Liverpool. It's always this is always a good fight to the death. So I think Eddie Howe is getting there, where people are now starting to question his position, and that could be.
You've been waiting a while for that. You didn't want to say it, but I know you were waiting a while for that one.
Let's see what happens. But,
guilty as charged.
So let's see what happens. He's been doing a great job, mate. He's been doing a great job this season.
Yes.
But people are. But that's what I find really crazy about it, is because I'm actually now thinking he's actually pulling up trees here. He's done so good to keep that team on its feet, I think, throughout this period. And then it is like when you zoom out and you look and you see all like 6 losses out of the last 7. I think that's just, you're looking for a reason if you start talking that way. Like, because if you actually watch the shit, they've been doing great. They've been quite unlucky, and they've been really playing like a man down, no bench, all sorts of crap, So
no goalkeeper. Like, there's been some unfortunate events out of your control.
They've still been doing good. They really should have qualified out that group in the Champions League as well. That was just such fine margins, so unlucky. As well. So I find it crazy now that he's getting called into question, which is just the whole funny part about it for me, is because it's just anyway. Don't try and predict the public. I think you drive yourself mad. And CCVs are getting dropped out. Now, we've not came to the Celtic game yet. So I think Celtic versus Rangers, I don't know where it's going to rank on the matchups tab, but we'll find it shortly enough, I suppose. But Liverpool are currently sitting top of the league. We've got Newcastle a considerable amount of points behind them, in fact, in 9th. But that whole section there, I don't think we can include Chelsea in this conversation yet. So it is really from Newcastle to West Ham. Like that whole pack of like 4 there are like just a wee bit cut off from the top 6. And it doesn't take much to bridge that gap. So there's like 8 teams up there, fighting for 10 teams. They said, 9. Sorry, I'm losing my mind there for a second. That are losing their mind, that are fighting for all this stuff all the way through the season. We've seen West Ham pulling up trees over the last couple of weeks as well. So this is a big one for both teams, like Newcastle and Liverpool, keeping at the top and getting in amongst it.
Yeah, it should be a good game. Really good game.
And speaking of Champions League group of death, the team that did finish 3rd, they're at home to Sassuolo. And I think they've been quite mince this year overall. Whenever I've seen them, mainly in Champions League, they've been crap. Some of the kids are starting to come through. The boy Simic, the defender, I've seen some good stuff written about him. I've not seen Milan over the festive period. But Magic Mike's back. Teo's still playing. Leao, Pulisic is coming into form. It could be decent, but Sassuolo are no mugs either. This is a pure banana skin fixture. You wouldn't touch this, I don't think, especially with Berardi on to start, Pinamonti up front as well. But this is a strong enough Sassuolo team, I would think.
100%. So I was just replying to a little.
Jeremy Toljan, by the way, ex-Celtic player. And this, whenever you say Jeremy Toljan to a Celtic fan, you will be met with a look that only a Celtic fan could give you about Jeremy Toljan. The guy was rank rotten for us, get sent off against Valencia amongst a few other capers. But I heard on another podcast somewhere, or show, I forget who it is, so I'm sorry, I can't credit it, but they were talking about Jeremy Toljan, and I want to go investigate it now, because I think he was like triple decisive or something. He smashed 100 recently. So I want to go and check it.
He's scoring pretty well.
I got an 89 about a month ago. So somebody's podcast I was listening to, so credit to you. If you're in the live chat, let it be known. But yeah, it was triple decisive, and it was an assist, a penalty won, and a clearance off the line.
Wow.
Yeah. And a 4-3 win, which was just crazy. So it's funny to see him. And I thought, wow, he's even a card that if you had a Celtic collection from then and you hated him, you'd still get a random, he's playing for Sassuolo now, and he's, like you say, L15 of 47, plays all the time, is somewhat decisive capable. But yeah, it's funny just to see his name there. Consigli, kind of veteran goalkeeper, L15 of 44. He could make tons of saves if not get the clean sheet in a game like this. And 55 pointer, 58 points, depending on how busy Milan make it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why this is so.
Tomori got injured last game, so that's why that Simic is sort of in.
He's in for this one.
Yeah, so defensively a little bit frail, maybe, from where they have been with, because Tomori's been great for them, I think. And yeah, I mean, Pulisic has been, I tell you what, he's a random one, but Pulisic is on fire, by the way. I don't know, I know the L15 looks good, but like, he's had a decisive in the last like 5 or 6 games. He's on a really, really good little run of form for them. So yeah, interesting one. I'm just glad to see him playing football, to be honest, because obviously weird at Chelsea, wasn't it?
He's one of those guys that's like a Champions League player, but not a Premier League player.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
You know what I mean? Like, put him in Dortmund, put him in Milan, he's probably going to do you well most of the time. But you say, like a Chelsea or something like that.
I know what you mean.
Some guys don't do it.
Yeah, agree.
That's the difference, I suppose. But yeah, so Milan, it's the defence and the forwards that are expected to do so well against Sassuolo. So interesting. I don't know if Berardi's had spells in and out the team. I don't know if that maybe plays a part in the forward expectations, but
yeah, he was ill last game. I don't know whether he's back. I assume he is. I don't know. I can't remember what that lineup said. Then,
he was on it.
Was he? Yeah, fair enough. So it was just it was an illness last game, I believe. But yeah.
Stoic, who is he in again? Is he a Leeds player or something?
Yeah. He's on penalties randomly. Well, he took a pen last game. He's a fucking centre back. I watched him take a pen against Preston.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
you don't
a good player. I like him.
Yeah, you don't let players you don't like do stuff like that. Leeds. Let me go see Leeds. Stoic.
He's like their main man right now at the back.
He's 80% on. Is it just to play him?
As well.
Thoughts on him? Just thoughts. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, guys, by the way, as well. The Celtic hate's coming in for Toljan as well. Love it. But yeah, so sorry, I derailed us a little bit there on the Stoic, but it caught my eye. I didn't want to leave it hanging. And after Milan, Blackburn, Rovers, and Ipswich and Sunderland, we don't really have cards for. So
we don't even have predictions for Blackburn, which is a bit annoying. Just because I have a couple of players, but yeah, they've got a good fixture though, home to Rotherham, but they've been rancid recently. Blackburn actually, but like you said, Ipswich, we don't really have many cards, and Sunderland maybe 1 or 2. I think what's his name, Adiucci? Remember the Adil Adiucci?
Yeah.
He's at Sunderland right now, so he's actually doing okay.
Is he? Nice.
Yeah, he's doing okay. But then I guess Arsenal's probably the next one. Away to Fulham. This is tricky. This is tricky after that loss last night.
I was going to say, is this a good game for Fulham or a good game for Arsenal?
Mate, honestly, a good game for Fulham, genuinely. Looking at those L5s and 15s, you'd have to say it's a good Fulham, good game for Fulham.
Totally, man.
Yeah, Jimenez back from suspension, I think it was. So he's back leading the line. I mean, a Wobie ex-club, don't be surprised if he pops up with a goal.
Yep.
I'm warning you right now. Happens far too often. I think it happened last night as well. Mavropanos, I think he scored last night against Arsenal. He used to play for them. So happens far too often for my liking. But yeah, no, this is a weird one for Arsenal. This will not be easy. Really won't.
Well, I am 30% on. I just seen that it was questioned, so I just wanted to find it. But yeah, and then Arsenal, I always just find it, funny to see Havertz and Odegaard race still. I know that's been their team. I know he's not always played in the same positions, whatever. But just whenever I see the Arsenal team, it just always surprises me still, But that's the team that they've got.
To be fair, yeah, he's actually been all right the last, in the last 5 games, he's actually scored a couple of goals. So, but before that, he was obviously on a bit of a poor run. But yeah, they don't really seem to change too much, do they, Arsenal? Maybe, Trossard, but I think he was rancid yesterday, someone said. So I don't really know if anything could change realistically, as far as, starters go.
Perfect game for Palfinha on an L5 of 60. Still putting himself in the shop window. It feels like the Bayern Munich move might happen again, but Bayern Munich are also talking about all sorts of other transfers and such. So hard to see. But I think, he'll be motivated. Big shop window game. Kearney's on form as well, L5 of 72, and I hear he's been in an Indian summer as well. So it could be a good game for Fulham. Arsenal, I don't know. It's it's a tough title race, isn't it, to call? I'm just always expecting. Let's see some of the form that some of these other teams have had where they've kind of blown a gasket. I just feel like Arsenal are always a wee bit close to that, but they're getting the job done. They're keeping up with the pack, and they're keeping the pace from last season. 18 goals conceded is really good. Is that the best defense? Second best defense in the league is actually probably quite overstated or understated, in fact, with all this goalkeeper stuff that goes on at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Second best defensive record in the league. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, I feel like they seem to just get better results as far as defensive things go, like against the bigger teams. But like, I just trying to think of the last couple of games, like they conceded 2 against Luton, 2 last night against West Ham. Like they're kind of slipping up in games or conceding more in games that you literally would not expect them to. So it's just the unpredictability of the Prem, isn't it? It's just like, it's so tight from top to bottom. Anyone beats anyone, like we've seen all season, and it is hard to stay up the top. But fair play to Arsenal; they are still up there, so you can't really knock them.
Got a wee dilemma here from Weasel Mount in the chat. If anyone's interested in that as well, that's a good dilemma in terms of the MLS recovery or the MLS new season build up and the hype. Do you hold? Do you stick or do you twist? It's always a fun one. And then we get Chelsea behind Arsenal, Fulham, which is interesting in terms of the running order we've got here. Oh, wrong button for me.
I don't know. I fear for this one for Chelsea, to be honest. I think this will just be a tough day. I really do. I know Chelsea have had a few good results recently, but like, I don't know. Away to Luton just screams they're going to go 1-0 down, set piece, and then it's just, can they get back from that type of situation for me? I know the team's looking good as far as, and Cuckoo's back in, and Palmer. It's a strong team. Don't get me wrong. It just depends how resolute Luton can be here, I think, because I don't see Chelsea scoring like loads of goals away to Luton. I really don't.
I think there's a lot of question marks around the team, so it's one of those games where expectations are that they do, So I think that the likes of Sterling, Nicholas Jackson, everywhere. See, after the Chelsea game, he was getting hounded everywhere. I was seeing like, well, how have Chelsea spent? I think we were all quite surprised in the Sorare community because he was like okay. Yeah. But it was like, he has just shown up 5 minutes ago. Like, he's barely done anything.
Mate. It was very strange, yeah. He was good for like, I think it was like a 10-game stretch maybe for Villarreal. He definitely wasn't at the start of the season. He was nowhere near that team, from what I remember. And I remember he went on a bit of a hot streak, didn't he, towards the end. And just caught fire, didn't it? It just kind of came out of nowhere. It was strange, I thought.
You kind of seeing that he's green behind the gills, I suppose, that he's not Drogba, or whatever they thought he was when they bought him. But yeah, so there's a lot of pressure on this Chelsea team to deliver. Obviously, Mudryk, he's always in the spotlight in this kind of context as well. Good to see Gusto, but really kicking on, it seems, as well. He was getting a lot of praise after the recent match as well.
Yeah, good player. Really good player.
Petrovic seems to be getting some applause as well. He was a good shot stopper and probably keeping Robert Sanchez out of the team, was I think the shouts in the group chats and whatnot. So wee bit of development there. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Pochettino era at Chelsea thus far. So yeah, we've seen Luton do it to bigger and uglier teams than Chelsea, and they could probably do it. Definitely not a good game for Chelsea necessarily, but it should be, really, when you think about it. It really should be.
Yeah, agree. We've got Napoli then at home to Monza, I think it is, isn't it?
This feels like it should be way higher in the matchup rankings. Home to Monza.
Yeah, no Osimhen though. There's a couple of players out here. No Politano.
Yeah,
they still got a good team. Don't get me wrong, but like there is a few players out. I think whoever's behind Juan Jesus, is it? I don't know if he normally starts. He's at 65. Oh, that's it. Ostergaard. So maybe probably missing 2 or 3 max. But yeah, I just won that Giovanni Simeone super rare. So I don't know whether to. Yeah, I won him as my what's it? The long form, the 220 super rare comp. So nice. He was on paper, he should have been the best tier 4 in that whole thing because I finished 31st. So that got me the tier 4. But yeah, it's good timing in that sense for him and for me, I guess, if I want to play him. But I don't really have the depth elsewhere to kind of fit him in really this week anyway. So I'm trying to get rid of him if anyone's after a little Gio Simeone super.
L1530, very cap 220 friendly, very 240 friendly.
100%.
Indeed. 100%. So yeah, I seen as well Jesper Lindstrom is maybe he's getting assessed closer to the game, so maybe he might start this game. I don't know what position it would be, but because there's some alternatives down here that don't add up, so maybe it's a midfield slot rather than a forward line slot. He can kind of play either or. I don't really know what he's doing under this manager. And Monza aren't really the same Monza that we've seen last year. Gagliardini gets some good form this year. He's been the main man for them. Piscina's been okay as well, but yeah, there's not really been much else happening at Monza. Where do they actually lie in the table at the moment? 11th. Yeah, so look at that. 5 wins, 6 losses, 6 draws. So just bang average. 16 scored, 18 conceded over 17 games. It's losing 1-0, winning 1-0, and drawing 1 each. That's what happens in their games, you know. So not much going on there. Napoli in 7th really need the 3 points in a big way to get back into that Champions League picture. And yeah, they really, really should be putting them to the sword. Cravadonna playing. Gio Simeone can do it. I know he's not awesome, but yeah, there should be a good Napoli game. I fancy this is a much better game than a good couple that are above it, certainly.
Agree. Yeah. I definitely agree with you there. 100%.
What else do we have? Inter at home at Genoa.
Yeah, this is a weird one.
Away, sorry. Inter away to Genoa.
Oh, yeah, away. Yeah. I mean, Inter have been really decent this year, clean sheet wise and all that sort of stuff. But Genoa score goals. That Goodmanson's been really interesting this year. L5 of 80.
Yeah.
Or he's only played 3 of them or whatever. But yeah, he's actually been pretty good, to be fair. And then I don't know. I think it's still a good Inter game, but is it that good? I mean, 59% win probability. It's good enough, but it's not. It's not 70s, 80s, is it? Obviously, it probably would be though if they were at home, or maybe not 80, but definitely be in the 70s, wouldn't it?
I don't know how the TV schedule works, but this will be a good one for the Sorare scouts to watch if you're watching Inter Milan anyway, because this guy Dragusin is getting linked to a lot of big teams as a centre back. So he's apparently he's doing pretty well for them. If you look at his scores on Sorare, they can be okay. He's not amazing, but they can be okay. So if you're watching this game anyway, watch out for Radu Dragusin, and you can maybe let us know a bit about him if you're in the chat. Maybe you can already let us know. DeMarco doesn't seem to be fully recovered for this one. Apparently, Cesar Augusto will be on the left wing. Arnautovic still partnering Thuram in the absence of Lisandro. Alexis Sanchez maybe comes in as well from the bench. The rest of the team pretty much picks itself from what we've seen recently. Inter Milan going strong at the top of the league. Genoa mid-table. Not really doing much either way.
Not really, no.
Inter should win this, eh?
Yeah, I think so. A little 1-0 Inter. It's got 1-0 Inter written all over that, I think. Maybe 2.
Yeah. Not high scoring, certainly. Leicester we're kind of done already, haven't we?
And Leicester, that's their game tonight, obviously. And then Lazio at home to Frosinone.
Yeah. So Lazio look to be starting both my boys for this one. Tati Castellanos and Kamada are in for this one, so this could be cool. Lazio at home. Frosinone, a lot of players are out. Ooh, as we update here. About right and left back. Interesting. A wee bit of detail getting added in there. But yeah, otherwise the Lazio team kind of picks itself. Looking at the table, Lazio again really need to get themselves back into this top 4, top 5 picture. And Frosinone, we're kind of a wee bit higher in the league recently. 19 points. Again, quite nondescript. 5 wins, 4 draws, 8 losses. Kind of doing nothing this season. So Italy, some of these games, like you say, they're 1-0, they're 1 each. Could be a wee sneaky draw. And when these games get tight, I said this last week about a team. Was it AC Milan? Who was it that had the banana peel skin in Italy last week? Because I think we called it on the show. It
might have been Milan. Yeah, I can't actually.
It was Salernitana in Milan, was it?
Yeah.
Someone in the chat can let us know. But what I said kind of
happened. It was. They played Friday night. It was. Yeah.
And it was like Friday night curse. They kept the game tight, and it was like the sucker. It was like proper, like what you expect to happen. Frosinone, Lazio. What was the other one we've seen earlier as well? Milan, Sassuolo. Both of those games feel like they could have that potential as well in them. So it's hard to get that confident about them. But yeah, strong team for Lazio predicted. And it's good to see Castellanos and Kamada for me personally. Put a wee 220 team out with them in it, I think. Okay, we're almost at halfway, Harry, right? Now I'm going to take us away from the matchups tab, right? Because the big game for me and a lot of other Sorare scouts and managers around the world out there, and a lot of big football fans out there, is, of course, the Glasgow Derby, which is tomorrow at 12:30. We've got a ticket giveaway on the Instagram at Quinny3001 with an underscore at the end for details. We do have details coming in the live chat as well. I think we've got probably press conference stuff. So guys in the live chat, get it populated. Let us know what's going on in there. But Abada and Hatate could feature. I expect them both to be on the bench if that's the statement he's made. And CCV confirmed out of this game, which puts a lot of pressure on the Celtic team. We're going to have Welsh starting this one alongside Scales. Obviously, McBride Ace, who's in the chat with us today, is the play sharper expert. But we've got Welsh, Scales, Taylor, and Johnson and Hart. The defence. I think the whole team kind of picks itself at this point, especially with that news we've got coming out that Carter Vickers will not be making this game. Now, for any of you who don't know, the league is super tight. Celtic were home and hosed, should have been away with the league. I think we had like an 8-point lead or something when Beale was in charge, and then through Celtic kind of faltering, Rangers kind of improving a little bit in the league. They weren't, they've only lost 3 this season. It wasn't as if we've lost 2, for example. So it's not like it was that much of a difference for an 8-point gap, but that 8-point gap is quickly fizzled away. Rangers have got 2 games in hand on Celtic, and if Celtic don't get the 3 points this weekend, the title race is wide open. It goes down to your derby results basically at the end of the league, assuming both teams win every game, as normally is the case in Glasgow title races. So this is a huge, probably one of the biggest derbies we've had at Parkhead in a number of years, and one person will win 2 tickets to it. Make sure to check out the Instagram page there. But I was saying, Harry, on the Celtic podcast yesterday, I've not been less confident for a derby in a long time. Like a long time. Some people were telling me they felt less confident earlier this season. We went away to Ibrox. Kyogo scored. We won 1-0. I felt more confident going into that game because it was Beale versus Rodgers, and Rodgers should have been able to pull a result out like that, which he did. But this game, looking at this team as well, it's not that inspiring at the moment.
Yeah, it's not sad for me to say, but somebody who's a big, good friend of yours, and obviously, you're a big Celtic fan. Yeah, it does feel like, I'm not saying like a changing of the guard in that sense, but like over the last couple of weeks, especially with the new manager of Rangers and their results, and who signed from yesterday, Fabio Silva, it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like that should be happening for Celtic in that sense. Like Rodgers has gone back. Like I know Kyogo, like I don't know, everything just seems to be going against Celtic right now as far as like, their striker hasn't scored in 12 games, like things that you probably would expect wouldn't be happening are happening. And it's kind of like even things out, because the last year or however long, the Celtic dominance has been ridiculous. No disrespect to Rangers, just seeing from afar, but it does feel like the new manager bounce and whatever at Rangers does feel like it's evening out a little bit. I'm not saying I don't know how tomorrow's gonna, whenever the game is gonna go, but if Rangers have ever had a chance, like over the last couple of years or whatever, to go get a result, it is this game, unfortunately, just because of how they are playing very well. It's hard to say, but it just is.
Yeah, I think the Fabio Silva thing is an absolute. It's just an absolute icon of the difference European football makes.
True.
Because
good point.
There's no way Celtic wouldn't have had the chat and tried to get him. Rangers are still in the Europa League. They're by around because they won their group by beating Betis. Credit where it's due to them. So yeah, they're paying him big money. I'm not that worried about him domestically, but he will help them. There's just no 2 ways about it. He's better than Cyril Dessers, unquestionably. So they've made a signing that makes them stronger. And like you say, that should be Celtic all over the bat. But actually looking at this Rangers predicted team, I get a little bit more excited when I see Dujon, Sterling and Kieran Dowell at centre mid alongside Cantwell. That gives me a bit of cause for optimism, certainly. And Balogun, I think, is an absolute hatchet man, so I'm not a big fan of him. So if he's starting, maybe this could be a wee bit better for Celtic. I'm just a wee bit. Me, Harry. I'm super positive normally, and I'm just we'll beat them 5-0, or something. But not this time. I don't imagine. I can't imagine us scoring more than 3 goals or something like that. Really, it is a derby, and anything can happen. Form goes out the window. Big players show up for the big moments. All the rest of it. But yeah, it's a weird one. I'll be playing my guys. I'll be going out with them. But L15s are pretty good. It is a derby. It's a big game. So something electric could happen. Someone goes on fire. Celtic score 3 goals in the first half or something crazy. It could happen, 100%. But
this the Palmer situation right now is just reminding me so much of Jota as far as like, just on Sorare goes. Like if you look at Palmer's like sofa score, it's like 9.5 rated, 9.3, and when Jota was obviously at the height of his sort of Celtic career in that sense, it felt a similar sort of position, obviously both on the left wing and whatever. And it just feels like, if it weren't for Palmer right now, I know O'Reilly's been immense, don't get me wrong, but like in that sort of front three, if it weren't for him, man, I like as a Celtic fan, as any sort of just a football fan, there's just no goals in that front three. You take him out of that, and it really does. I just worry for like Maeda and for Ashley, but I really hope Kyogo can kind of get back into things. What's Jay piping up over there?
Jota and
Palmer.
Palmer.
There's too many sweaty socks in here, big time.
So at least the Celtic team is predictable, but I'm with you. Like, it does feel like, yeah, Palmer's kind of carrying the scores at the moment. If you actually watch the games, but he is like the worst player probably. Welsh is probably going to come into this one. It seems like that's maybe confirmed in the press conference. It seems like Welsh is the preferred deputy anyway. So it is good. I don't know how much you can bank on a clean sheet. You're really hoping to get, if you're picking a Celtic defender, you're really after one that's going to be very, very active. Alistair Johnson, I think, banked a 100-ish score. Maybe not. I'm sure it was a 100 from AA alone at the weekend. I don't think... let me just go and double check that. Alistair Johnson. I'm sure it was like... If it wasn't 100, it was
really
around...
Well. Yeah,
it was 100. Yeah.
Well.
All from AA. 71 points on all-around score.
Good player, mate.
Indeed. Yeah, only one tackle. 28 points came from the possession statistics. Accurate final for passes were at 50, 49.
Yeah, a lot of penalty area entries, I believe. I remember seeing.
Yeah.
And also, Jay, I'm not comparing Jota to Palmer. I'm just saying they're so rare scores. You look at that sort of thing. It's a very similar situation as far as, taking set pieces. He's the only one scoring well for you realistically outside of O'Reilly, if we're being honest, in that sort of front six. So. It's just dealing with facts.
What the difference might be is the goalkeeper. Jack Butland and Rangers have only conceded 8 goals over 18 matches so far this season, whereas Joe Hart and Celtic have conceded 14 over 20. So, yeah, there is 2 games of a difference and whatever, but we have been, they've been solid for clean sheets way more often than we have. And yeah, you can talk about penalties and all the rest of it. I'm sure we can as well, but it's going to be an interesting one. There'll be no Rangers fans in attendance, so it is going to be party time.
Wow.
It's going to be party time, Celtic. So when what happened in the last game was it was at Ibrox and there was no Celtic fans, and when Kyogo scored, the whole place deafened. And we don't want that to happen to us. It's a huge game. We really, I've got my score prediction officially down as 2-0 Celtic. It's the only kind of thing I can really think about happening in this game. It's either 2-0 or 0-0, but I cannot even imagine a 0-0. Yeah. So, even as I say all that out loud, a clean sheet feels very hard to see. But I don't see how they score either, because I don't think this midfield is going to be good enough. It's going to be like a free kick, or a corner, or
tight game.
Something on the counter attack. One bit of quality that does show itself. McBride's going.
I really do hope you win. To be fair, I'm going to go 1-0. I think it's going to be really tight. 1-0 Celtic, and I'm going to say O'Reilly gets it. I don't know how, but I think he's going to score.
Aye, O'Reilly's
little volley. Definitely... Go volley from O'Reilly outside the box.
Aye, O'Reilly's definitely decisive, capable in a game like this. Big players and big games and all that good stuff. The next game we actually have there on the list is also in Scotland, which is why I thought we'll go and touch on the big game, the derby of the weekend, because it's Will Dennis to Rangers or Celtic? No, I don't think so. Hendo made a good point. I don't know if it was on the stream or in the chat, but he said Celtic have already done that transfer strategy by buying Benjamin Siegrist, and it didn't work out too well. So, I don't think they're going to probably rush out to do that again, and I think he's probably quite right there. So, I don't think Celtic will be interested in him. Hard to save a penalty tomorrow. We don't want them. That would be great for the decisive, right? But we don't want them to get a penalty because he's had lots of practice and he tends to score them. Fair enough. But yeah, Hearts are starting to get the headlines as well, particularly Shankland with some of the goals he's been scoring. And the Hearts team is very well stacked on Sorare at home at Ross County. Should be a good game for them. Benigame, Shankland, these guys all, Cochrane, Kingsley, Kent. This Kent guy's been really good, by the way. Yeah. And
Shankland scored a wicked goal, didn't he, against Hibs?
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. It was his weak foot as well, wasn't it?
Outside of it?
Yeah, bounced up perfectly on his left foot and he's just wrapped it top corner. It was a fucking unbelievable goal. I think there's a few sniffing around him right now, isn't there? Or there's something going on with Shankland, whether he's going to get a new contract or... Yeah, I definitely think there's a few in for him, or will be in for him in Jan.
Well, I heard that Rangers, like 2 days ago, I heard that
Yeah,
Rangers were really close to signing Kevin Van Veen on loan.
I've seen that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually saw that on Twitter. Yeah.
And then the Fabio Silva thing happened, obviously. So I think like
Okay.
I think they've been scratching around for a forward. And I think if they've got
Mhm.
Fabio Silva, they've already got Dessers and Lammers, Danilo. They've already spent a lot of money on forwards.
Yeah,
So now that they've got that Silva in on loan, I don't think they're spending any more money on attackers, personally. Not until the
agree.
summer. Rangers, this is, and Celtic, I don't see Celtic spending the money Hearts want for somebody like Shankland.
How
For
old is he?
Shankland. I'm
Was he
going to
like
say
30,
27,
27? Okay.
maybe 29. I don't know,
Yeah.
but he's like,
Late 20s, isn't it? I think, roughly.
yeah, something like that, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't see, because Celtic only really need a guy like that for 6 months till you go into the summer and buy Champions League level, allegedly. So like, depends on what the club actually do and what they say. I suppose that comes into it as well.
Yeah, big time.
And then we've got Coventry in the Championship, which I don't know if this is for the double game week or just for the Swansea game. What do you think?
Well, that one is for the Swansea, but yeah, they will have a double. I don't know who their second game is though. Yeah, I don't know. Cov have been really good for keeping clean sheets recently. I think that Ben Collins or Brad Collins, whatever his name is, in goals, been really, really good score wise.
Oh yeah. Away at Middlesbrough in game 2.
Yeah, that's not easy to be fair. So this is their sort of better game. But Swansea are no mugs. That's coming from a Cardiff fan. So, you know, it's a good fixture, but I don't think it's exceptional. Sakamoto's been really good, though, over the last couple of games. I watched him play live or just on TV a couple games ago, and he looked electric, to be fair. So it was nice to see a Sorare OG, I guess, in the champ doing pretty well. And they've got some good players, definitely. But they're not scoring that well, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of praise for Van Uyek after the last game as well.
He's been doing very well.
He's been kicking on a little bit. And I'm a big fan of Louis Binks. If he was a wee card I tried to hold for a while. So good to see he's coming through somewhere. That's fun. And I'll throw the Middlesbrough game on as well in case you have the cards, in case someone shows to be playing in the second game that isn't in the first or vice versa. It seems to be the same teams overall. So, yeah, Coventry, decent wee fixture there, it would seem. Ahead of Tottenham, which, on paper, Bournemouth should be a good Tottenham game, but Bournemouth are no mugs. Andoni Iraola, I thought did okay in La Liga last year. I thought he was a wee bit overhyped as a manager personally, but he did do well with Vallecano. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I just thought Bournemouth, it's kind of a hard job to get much success from, really. But he's kind of got them singing and dancing all of a sudden, and they're definitely starting to punch above their weight and starting to get themselves on the, away from the bottom of the table and becoming a firm, like, hey, we're not relegation fodder this season. 12th they're sitting in,
No, last couple of games have been exceptional for them. And Tottenham last night, I watched the game against Brighton. They got absolutely battered away from home. So yes, it's a weird one. This pressure's piling on Ange a little bit. I know there's injuries and whatever, but they'll definitely need to go out and sort of win this game because this is at home. There's no sort of excuses in that sense. So it'll be interesting. Though Bournemouth won't roll over here, not at all. I gotta say though, Emerson Royale last night. If anyone watched that game, oh my god, I just don't know what to say. Like, how am I watching a Premier League footballer that bad? Like, I'm not even. Please, someone agree with me in the chat because it was a real hard watch, like incredibly hard. João Pedro, was absolute one of the best performances I've seen in a long time. Just as a player, he was incredible.
Just rinsed Emerson.
Oh, mate, it was actually embarrassing. Like, genuinely now, like really, really embarrassing. It was mad.
So it should be a good one for Tottenham on paper if they have goals go their way. But that's been their problem. I think Tottenham don't really score that many. And it makes it hard, Sorare-wise, to get big scores without decisives. You need to be getting in the box. You need to be taking the game by the scruff of the neck. And there's some spells and periods where it results in shots and goals. And Bournemouth, you can kind of see, even though both these teams have been winning games, have both been doing well. But again, their L5s, their L15s don't really jump out here because they're not putting tons away. They're not running teams necessarily. They're just being good and doing well.
Yeah, Solanke's been really good as far as if you look at his L5 and just his goal scoring record this year for Bournemouth. But like you said, yeah, they've kind of shared all the decisives seem to be shared out between like Semenyo, Cliver gets a couple, Tavernier, Christie's been good. Like Alex Scott as well. I know he doesn't have a card, but when he does have a card, that'll be a fun one to get involved in. Even Senessy's been good. He's had a couple of DAs, and yeah, it's kind of just been shared around. Barring Solanke like scoring the goals, the sort of assisters and whatever have kind of come from everywhere really, which is good. But yes, it's been an interesting one for Bournemouth.
It definitely will. This will be. This isn't a game that's so rare-wise. I'd be excited about in any way, shape, or form. Really, to be honest with you, if anything, it's probably not bad for some of the Bournemouth players who do have the low L15s. They're kind of mostly gone now. Maybe Christian at 45 is appealing. Solanke at 53, if he's going to bring in a 65.
Yeah, maybe.
You can maybe just about deal with that, I suppose. And in Kelly Dundee, this is actually, seeing both these teams playing Celtic recently enough, I don't think this is a good game for either team. They're both quite handy. Dundee, people are saying, Celtic beat Dundee 3-0 at the weekend, right? And I've heard a lot of Celtic fans saying, it's feeling good coming into the derby now because we beat Dundee 3-0 and we beat the other team, but, we beat Livy 2-0. And it's like, if you actually watch these games, like Dundee, they'd had no chance of scoring, no chance of winning, but they weren't mugs in the game either. They didn't really let us do much. It was Mikey Johnson off the bench with 2 goals. And if you're happy with the Dundee result as a Celtic fan, you're actually just happy with Mikey Johnson because that was the only thing that happened in it. Was he came on and was our left winger for 10 minutes and got 2 goals because of it. But anyway, Kelly have been doing pretty well. The team kind of picks itself. Armstrong, Kennedy, and Danda here have been really making a big name for themselves. And they've got really good L5s. Or maybe not in Danda, actually. He's not got a good L5 or 15 at the moment, but they've been doing pretty well overall. Donnelly and Lyons, who's their guy? Armstrong, Kennedy, and Danda have been doing well. Findlay and Dennis, really strong. It's again, Kelly just don't really score that often. So you're after the guys that get the assists, like the Kennedys and the Armstrongs, because you don't know who's going to actually score. And your boys, Harry, one of your sets of teams here, you get a wee Dundee, Owen Beck, love affair going on, don't you?
I do, yeah. I kind of knew that Celtic game was going to be tough for them and sort of him, even though I'd sort of tried to back him. But I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to watch them play this year. I've watched highlights and stuff, but not a full game. So I don't know if Kilmarnock Dundee will be the game of choice for me, but I'll definitely get to watch them before the end of the season, 100%. But hopefully it's a good game for Big Owen Beck at left wing back.
As the table sits, Kelly in 4th, Dundee in 7th. Very tight, 21 to 30 points. That's not so tight, I suppose. But yeah, there you go. There's that. Aberdeen St Mirren's probably the next one. I'm not going to look at Hellas Verona, are we? So we've got Aberdeen St Mirren. Again, Aberdeen in 8th at the moment on 19 points. St Mirren in 5th on 26. Aberdeen really need to get into the top 6 as quickly as possible. And taking 3 points off St Mirren would help them do that, I suppose. Now done with European football, don't need to worry about all that stuff. They've had a couple of games called off with weather and whatever as well. So Aberdeen should be raring to go. They should be in top gear from the first whistle. Don't know how, St Mirren are no mugs. St Mirren have been a really good team. Really strong outfit here as well. Guys like Tanser, Fraser, O'Hara in the centre of the pitch here. Hemming's been a decent keeper. But Aberdeen at home, they should be looking to do pretty well. And again, a team that's quite well backed. Sorare-wise, some good cards in this team.
Yeah, 100%. They've had 2 games called off, haven't they, in a row? To be fair,
yeah.
So yeah, they'll be sort of raring to go. I'd like to think. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. St Mirren are no mugs, are they? So I don't know. A lot of pressure on Aberdeen here.
Yeah, pressure is definitely the word for it as well, because a slip up here and maybe manager loses his job situation because you're then cut off from top 6 quite firmly on points. 5 points off Hibs at the moment. If that changes, who do Hibs have? They're not here. Yeah, you need to close that gap. Games in hand, obviously, as well. I suppose, games in hand probably make that picture a bit better, actually, when you see it's 16 that they've played. Jesus. But yeah, need to get the points on the board rather than games in hand.
Yeah, big time.
Now, let's say we'll do Motherwell and Livy, and then Juve Roma. Who thought that would be a sentence? And then Man United, Nottingham Forest. So we'll leave Scotland with Motherwell and Livy since I've got that kind of on screen. So Motherwell team on screen if anyone's after it. Don't think there's anyone in this team we've been particularly following, but Liam Kelly, L15 of 36. Home and Livy, that could be good.
Yeah, that could be the one, couldn't it? As far as clean sheet probabilities and, how sort of bad Livy are, I guess. I know Motherwell are much better, but, if Motherwell are ever going to get a clean sheet, you'd like to think it could be at home to Livy, right?
Yeah, 10 goals in 19 games. And Motherwell, I know they're down there on 16 points, but early season, they weren't too bad.
They were decent, yeah.
They've just totally imploded or just stopped working somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, TBC on that one. There's the teams for you if you wanted to see them. And then Juve Roma is probably the biggest European game of the weekend. There's not much on in the continent really, but a big one all the same. The Juve team kind of picks itself. It looks like Weah's going to be playing this one from the start. Chiesa and Vlahovic return up front. Pretty solid team otherwise. And then the Roma team, we've got cards for all these guys, I think, just about. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Not all for Roma, but pretty strong team again.
Yeah, it'd be a good game, that. Be quite feisty. Roma to do a number on Juve, maybe away, little Mourinho special down the touchline.
Well, Mourinho have his eyes firmly on fifth now, in fourth. He'll be thinking, I can get Roma Champions League. It's way on now, because before, getting into the top four in Italy's, from where Mourinho found Roma, you're looking at Inter, Juve, AC Milan. You're looking at Napoli, Atalanta, been in Champions League quite a lot over the last couple of years. So there's 5 teams there. Never mind the Lazios of this world. Did Fiorentina maybe punching above their weight? But with that 5th spot coming in, it just makes everything way more possible. So yeah, big 6-pointer at the top of the table. Make it quite right there as well. And it's just about who's fit, really. Dybala doesn't really seem to be totally fit. I'm always hearing about him injured and seeing him coming off, but he's always on to start the next game. And yeah, this could be a good one to watch. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow. So
yeah,
Saturday night fixture.
Yeah, it should be a fun one.
And what did we have after that? Man United Forest.
Yeah.
And then it would have been the derby after that. Celtic, I see right at the bottom there.
Yeah, they are.
So Forest have just changed their manager. They've got Nuno Espirito Santo back in the Premier League. And I think this team could do pretty well with a continental-minded manager, if that makes sense. Like a guy that's used to playing European football, even with the kind of talent they had at Wolves. It feels like the Nottingham Forest team has been built by an agent, and it feels like the Wolves team that he was running was built by an agent as well. So I think you might see some of these pieces of the puzzle maybe come together, which they kind of were under the last manager, to be honest with you. I think he was doing okay, but maybe they go up a gear now. Maybe they find their place in the team a bit better, place in the table.
Yeah, I mean that's a massive win against Newcastle. Like you said, obviously new manager and whatever, that'll definitely give them confidence going at home to United. But United have a bit of confidence as well, just going to beat that Villa team. So it's both teams are coming into this with quite a bit of confidence, to be honest. So I don't know, it's a weird one. If United didn't go and beat Villa, I would say I'd proper fancy Forest here at home, new manager bounce and whatever. But
when you see that Man United's midfield and defence spot, does that change your thinking?
I know, Eric. I mean, this is what it's been, to be honest, Quinny. This is no different to really, Varane wasn't even in a couple of games ago because he was injured or whatever. So I think it actually looks a bit stronger than normal. I think Eriksen coming back in a weird way helps things. Mino's been, for an 18-year-old, very, very good. And then Garnacho, I mean, for Højlund to get his goal was big for his confidence. These little things, or big things, I guess, just can be the sort of catalyst for just changing a sort of form or whatever. And I think, I don't know, I was quite confident in backing Forest here before that United win against Villa, but now I'm a bit skeptical. I think this is a draw for me. A 1-1, maybe a 2-2. I think there'll be goals, but I don't see a winner, to be honest. I think it'll be a really, really fair game.
I think Forest will be very defensive in this game and will counter-attack like mad. Chris Wood on a hat-trick, obviously. Killing it. And that kind of style of play. I could see him just Chris Wood versus Johnny Evans is going to be a throwback, isn't it? It's going to be a what year was this picture taken in, or something like that. Which would just be funny as well. So yeah, like I think this would be end to end.
Games, by the way, Chris Wood.
There you go. He's on it, man.
Mental.
Sit in, defend, and then Hudson-Odoi, Alanga spring out, and then
Alanga ex-club as well.
MGW and Wood getting in the spaces. Yeah, I can see it, man. End to end, I think this will be. And if Rashford starts, then Man United won't be doing anything in attack until he comes off the pitch.
I know. Well, yeah, I know. It's hard to back Rashford right now, isn't it? Very, very hard.
Oh, he's rotten, mate. Honestly,
I know. He's looking bad. But to be fair, I know it's one thing, but he did give a really good ball into Garnacho, which got given as an offside goal. Actually, I know it's one thing. I'm not backing him, but yeah, he's been horrendous. I'll definitely leave it as that.
Did you see that tweet I was arguing in?
No, I didn't. No.
It's just when you said that there, I thought you were dropping me a sly one.
Oh no, I haven't seen it, to be honest.
Oh no, I commented on a Rashford post about him being an assist person, and it went on all weekend. It was funny.
that is funny.
But Forest at the moment, where do they sit? 16th and 17 points. Man United in 7th on 31 points. So it's quite a distance between them, and it has just been Forest have lost 10 games. Man United have won 10. It's really just it's a real kind of flip around there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking there was a statistic that's what it is. Man United have scored 21 over 19 games, and Forest have scored 22 over 19 games. Man United have conceded 9 goals fewer, but that's probably the main difference of both the teams there. But equally as dangerous in attack is kind of the takeaway from that for me.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
I think that's kind of us for matchups, Harry Boy. Unless there's any, the guys in the live chat, feel free to drop in any requests of any other teams you want to have a look at. But I can't imagine there'd be anything behind the derby that we've not looked at. I think we've looked at virtually every game on the board.
Basically looked at
some of the gaps. I think we've not looked at. I'm looking at the Prem. The only game in the Prem we've not looked at. There's 2, but we've got Wolves Everton, so we can pop that on screen for you at the moment. Tommy Doyle in to start this one. Maybe Lamina's needing a wee bit of a rest. Dawson back in over Bueno. And the Everton team, I think it's been pretty copy and paste for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. It has, to be fair.
So we didn't have that one on screen, and we haven't done Palace Brentford for probably obvious reasons. No Edward, no Party. But otherwise, wow, that's actually as strong as it comes for Palace.
Yeah.
Except for defence.
Anyway.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Eze Andolise is a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird game, this one, actually. Brentford away. Brentford Nathan Collins was dire last game. I think he gave away 2 goals, to be fair, 2 back passes.
Brentford have been getting mugged off recently. They've dropped some points, man. They've been getting taken.
Yeah, they're getting sucked in a little bit, aren't they? To be fair. Game in hand, though, I guess. They're on 18 and Palace are on 19, so...
Yeah,
it won't be easy for Brentford, that. I'd back Palace there, to be honest.
It does feel like 2 or 3 games ago, but Brentford were more in this 8th to 10th region quite firmly. It looked like on the board in terms of points gained and stuff, So it just shows you, man, a couple of results go your way. Don't go your way. Can quickly become detached. So yeah, this is like a 6-pointer for Brentford to kind of get back on the top half of the table hunt.
Definitely.
In Serie A, is there anything that's interesting that we've not looked at? Fiorentina Torino is maybe on the TV because that looks like a 5:30 kickoff. Maybe that's on the TV. Both of them have been doing kind of okay this year. There's the teams on screen if anyone cares. Quattra's on to start. That's good for me to see. I don't think I need them, or maybe I do actually. And Illich is in to start, which is good for me. And there's a screen for anyone else that wants it. Udinese Bologna. Bologna are also reigning high in the table. They're in the top 4 spots. Udinese have been doing a little bit better this year, but I don't think they've been as hopeless as they've been in some recent years. Okoye, 90% on to start. L15-0.
Wow. That's mad. I didn't even know he was... Oh, because of the Watford thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, wow. That's mad.
So yeah, it could be a fun Udinese game week. But Xerxes has became a thing. He's getting formed. He's getting scouted. People have now forgotten that he had a bad attitude and that he was a bad egg. People have forgotten all about that, Harry. Seem to score goals. No one talks about that anymore.
Yeah, it's all rainbows and sunshine, isn't it? When you score goals, everything just gets forgotten. Because he was, for a while, he was just down and out, wasn't he? He wasn't couldn't get a game for anyone.
Yeah, no one wanted him. No one would take him.
you have half a good season at any level, and there's just serious sort of news headlines around you, isn't it? Fair play to him. He's kind of turned it around. Really interesting team. Ferguson, Salamakers, Orsolini. There's some really just, I don't know, just cool players here in that sense that have sort of, should have done it, haven't done it, and now doing it. I don't know. It's quite a cool sort of team. You came in from AZ. I don't know, just a weird one to see, but happy to see your boy Skorupski manage, because we had that dilemma, didn't we, last week? Or you had that dilemma as far as not knowing if Skorupski was going to play or not, but he did, and just happy that hopefully he gets the nod again. Lewis Ferguson, though, really, really happy to see him do well there.
I'm not sure there's much of a possibility of Scottish games being called off. I think the weather is a bit better. It's freezing. It's a bit windy. I'm not a weatherman, but I'm really sorry. But I don't think the weather does feel a bit better. Trust me, in that sense. But not much more than that. I can't help you. Sorry, but yeah, this could be a decent wee game. And was there anything else in Italy we've not looked at? I think we've touched on everything else there, really. I think that's about it for the weekend, Harry boy. Normally when we do this deadline stream, of course, we've got all of world football to tackle. Not as much meat on the bones in that sense, but we are still half an hour away from the deadline. We still do have... Harry boy, how are you doing with teams? Have you got many going out this weekend? Do you want to show us what you're up to?
Yeah, honestly, I've not really got too much going on. I've got a team that I'm kind of locked in with, but then I've got another possible team. This is kind of like sort of set in stone, sorry. I bought a little Morato to come in as my extra player because I was a little bit short on rare cards, to be honest. I've got a lot of supers for this weekend, but just not enough goalies to kind of complement it, to be honest. So I'm in a bit of a dilemma. Do I play like a little 240 rare team, which could look something like, I'll show you now. Obviously, I've got Costa to play. I bought this Patrick for the game week for 15 quid.
Oh, nice.
Spittle. I've got a Langut for sale if anyone wants to buy him. I've got Duke, and then I could fit in a little 31 L15 of Ryan Yates. So I could play a 240 lineup that looks like that, or I've got a pick of a bunch of super rares that could go into a team that could look something like this. So I've got like a Brennan, get Spittle back in here maybe, and then I've got, like I said, I'm very lucky to have quite a few supers, but basically too many in that sense, but not somebody that kind of sticks out. I could go Stravezza. I could go Simeone for his debut in the club if we think he's going to play. It's a couple of decent, interesting ones in there. Moran's got 2 games for Blackburn, but he's gone off the boil a little bit recently. So I don't really know, to be honest. This is kind of just, I don't know, like genuinely, I really don't know what to do. It could be a Simeone. What'd you say, Super Simeone?
Super Rare 220.
Super Rare 220, but the issue is the defender. If I play Costa as the goalie, I can't really do too much. Like I'm basically gambling on Badiashile or Nico to play, and neither are sort of down to play. Is my issue.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of the only thing throwing me off that. Otherwise, yeah, you're right. I would have tried to have fit that in, to be honest. Yeah, Jonathan says Moran playing worst team in the league. For sure he is, but that worst team in the league just beat Middlesbrough, to be honest, away from home. So, Championship's a weird league at times. So, honestly, I don't really know what to do right now. Open to suggestions. I'm not really, I'm happy with this team, and then it's kind of whatever happens to that second team, happens to it.
That's strong, Harry.
Yeah, it's a decent team. Hoping Brennan can obviously do well at home. He didn't really do too well last night. Flows in. And I bought that Morato today, to be honest. I went on a bit of a binge. I bought a load of players earlier. Don't ask me why or how. I went on. So basically, I made a mistake, lads. I thought this Samoa, or however we're going to pronounce his name, he's played this game week that just went. So I was searching on the matchups tab and the pick scores, and I thought, let's get him in. He's got a good away fixture to Kortrijk. He obviously has already played that game, so I've bought him now for the foreseeable, not for this game week coming up. And I had to rectify that with buying Morato, so I bought him in for this game. And then I thought, you know what, let's try and build an all-star rare plus team. So that's why Spittle and Patrick have come into the side, or to the gallery, sorry. So I don't know what to do. All-star rare plus or cap 240 basically is kind of the dilemma. And I don't have any limited goalies, I don't believe. Yeah, no limited goalies. So honestly, a really, really quiet game week for me, mate, to be honest. What about you?
I've got a couple of teams going out. I just wanted to double check. I just realised, I was going to see if we had predicted 11s for Braga. So I've remembered I've got a wee Gian Moutinho. So I've not looked at my team since the game week opened. To be honest with you,
Oh, no
I
way.
just made a quick swap there with Guardiola because also I've seen that he's 50-50 now. I just kind of provisionally just slapped the team together, but it looks like All-Star Rare. I was planning on going with this.
Okay.
Trubin, my best keeper, and then my most powerful cards probably in every other position on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Kyogo for Castellanos, maybe a shout.
Yeah, is he starting Castellanos? That could be a...
Yeah, Castellanos and
Okay.
Kamada are both on to start. Guedes is probably going to be a super sub. I've not even looked at him. In fact, how many points would I have? 36. Affordable only rares. Forrest or Guedes, that's a super sub I'm after, really, if I play this team. So it's probably Guedes. Unless... so I've got this team in 240. So I just wanted to check the value of that Moutinho. 41. It's a wee bit too expensive. 35 for Maeda.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe I might do a wee swap around it.
The 240 super looks nice. I like the look of that.
Yeah, so as long as it's also I had the bomb scare last week of Skorupski not playing in the last minute. I didn't want to talk about it earlier, so I kind of expunged it from my memory. I couldn't really remember it, but it was because of Skorupski as well. It totally like screwed. I should have won 240 last week, and I should have like got a podium in All Star or something like that. If the Skorupski thing didn't screw me over, I really didn't want to think about it because it made me really angry for about an hour, and I had to just detach myself from it. Go manana, whatever. Get it again next time. But it does look pretty good. Double striker. And see the thing with Cunha as well, and maybe you guys have got this problem, right? But I can't not play Kyogo in this better team for the life of me. Yeah, the form, it has to be Cunha that plays in the best team, right?
Of course.
Everton, I don't think it's that great a game, to be quite frank. But
it's not amazing, no. But
none of his games have been that great, on paper. But he's still dropping like Fulham, Tottenham, Arsenal, Burnley. Okay, Forest probably.
Goals.
Yeah, like he's an AA forward, needs a decisive, and you're there, So all the form points to him, regardless. But I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do
it. I know.
I should do it, shouldn't I?
You should, really, shouldn't you? If we're being honest,
Danjuma, does he come off the bench? Probably not.
Yeah, the last couple. Yeah. You should, but then it's up to you, isn't it?
That should be the team.
Yeah, it should. If we're being completely honest,
that should be the team. I can't, but I think he'll go here.
Double forward, is it? Yeah.
So it should be.
It should. If we're being it's hard to argue. Honestly, like I can't. Even if Kyogo scores a goal,
it's 60,
which is best case, yeah. Like it's still not as good as like if Cunha scores, it's going to be with a bit of AA as well. If we're being honest, right? So like, it's hard for me to give. I know. Obviously, you're going to want Celtic to win and score and stuff, but right now, can you back Kyogo? I just don't know if you can.
I'm going to have a wee shot at my rare teams again quickly. I hope you all don't mind. Feel free to drop some stuff in the live chat and all the rest of it. Samois is a good cap option. I actually won his 3D card this year. He's really good.
Nice. He's a good player. Yeah, he just doesn't have a game this week. I just made a mistake of thinking that he had a game.
He's a under 23. Really solid.
Yeah, he's a good player. Good player, mate. Yeah, I need a bit of rare depth, so it makes sense. I'm happy to hold him. I just made the mistake of buying him for this upcoming game week when he doesn't have a game.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
So I could play Kamada at 40. And then Castellanos 37 and 66. That leaves me. I could fit Bernardo in here then still. That's fun.
That is fun, yeah.
High XP, good guys, and good gets the defence in. And then Captain Bernie.
Yeah, you got a Captain Bernie, haven't you?
Yeah, and then that can leave me with 220. maybe I've still got some good players in here. So we'd have Gunn in goals, Quattro in defence, and then rare mids. Who do we have?
Yeah,
We've
I
got
agree with you.
Moutinho.
Huijsselmans. Fofana's a very, very good player. Sorry, Quinny.
No, that's good. On you go.
Just looking at the live chat.
Dyson at 35. And then we've got 37 remaining. It's Guedes again. Doesn't get much better. You can't
squeeze it.
Nah, can I get a cheaper defender than Quattro? I don't think I do. Sadly, no. And then, yes, it's Guedes from the bench, which is fine. He'll do that, I suppose. Moutinho, hope he starts. I'm probably going to captain Quattro. That's fine. Boom.
Yeah.
I think that's as good as it gets, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Decent team. Can't really argue with it.
Nice wee adjustment around. Aye, I'm happy enough with all that. There's my 5 teams. I've still got academy to throw out, so that's not going to be too exciting. But what I've got my wee DNP super rare keeper that I won before, because normally when I've got like 3 teams going out, I normally don't have that guy to then throw a wee team out. So I think I'm going to have a wee. Do I have any defenders spare? I do. Ayer isn't on to start, and neither is Bueno, but he's like 50-50. Rainier's in the squad, so if he comes off the bench, Danjuma comes off the bench, there's 3 guys. Edward still injured. Maybe he's on the bench. There we go. We fancy training team. Get some coins. We coin team. We coin farmer. And I unlocking loads of academy lineups. And you guys in the chat, let me know what divisions you're going for, what you're hunting down this game week. Are you going for All-Star? Are you playing some thresholds? Are you still playing Premier League Weekly? How have the DNP rewards been striking everyone as well? Me and Harry have kind of touched on that with our own experiences. But yeah, we're kind of ticking away to the deadline. We've kind of touched on all the fixtures. Get the requests in if there's anything else you want to talk about. We've got a ticket giveaway. 1 winner, 2 tickets to the derby tomorrow, Celtic versus Rangers, on the Instagram account. The winner will be done on the Celtics Are Here YouTube channel later on today. Yeah, it's I have to do it, don't I? I was building myself up to earlier today where I was like, I do need to not play Kyogo in that team. It really is it's the best move for the SO5 optimization, as it were. Play the guy in form and play the guy that gets scores. You know, it's just
100%.
The way to go.
Let me just close my blinds a minute. Sun's,
go for it,
sun's beaming.
Haksabanovic has got 2 games. I don't think he believes affordable, but in that 220 still. And Costage, throw him in for some XP. And I'm just making sure if there's anything else I've not missed in the chat. I think we're all kind of up to speed, guys. But I actually had a wee bit of splurging. Once I do the academy lineups, I'll show you, Harry. I've went and picked up some cards over the last couple of days, and one or two of them one of them especially is a bit of a Sorare icon, a bit of a Sorare legend. So nice. Maybe there'll be a wee bit of good times in the chat, seeing who I've brought in. If you can hang fire while I plug these guys away. Into training, I'm just trying to see who wants some XP this week. Who wants the XP, boys? Who's going into training? Who wants the XP? Yeah, you go and get that XP powered up. I've not really been using that XP filter thing that they added in because I don't have that big a gallery where it really does derail me. We're trying to work out who needs the levels. So have you used it, Harry? Have you been getting on with any of the new Sorare stuff they've brought out?
Yeah, I've kind of used a couple of those boosts for the I used one on my unique card to bump him up to level 50. As I've said that now, I just forgot. I have my unique to be able to use this game week, but I don't know if I can play him anywhere, if that makes
unique
sense.
Kickoff, mate.
Yeah, but I don't have a goalie. Does that matter? Do you think?
DNP keeper. Just play a DNP, there's no cap.
Or do I go under 23 super rare and play 4 outfielders? That probably don't do anything, does it? Yeah.
You would be the expert on this field, Harry.
Yeah, it's a defender. No, I was just thinking then it's a defender, isn't it? It's still going to be my issue. I don't have the super rare defender that's like not nailed, but I don't really have much faith in. Yeah,
Kickoff unique, mate.
Could be kickoff unique. Yeah, let's have a look. Kickoff. Where's it to? Kickoff unique. Because I could use like Simeone here if I had to, if no one wants to sort of buy him. So you go Zaydu. Yeah. I still have that situation though, don't I? With the defender.
Nico's more likely to feature, isn't he?
I don't know. It's a weird one. Like Montiel, Ole Einar gave away a pen last game, so I don't think he plays. And then they've got Montiel down to start, which he did play last game as well. And I think he played quite well. So that is an interesting one. But before that, Nico was playing quite well under Cooper. But then Badia Shield started last game. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to go on with Chelsea. It's so hard to predict. Really, really tough to predict.
They have been bemoaning the defence at Chelsea.
Silva's been like horrendous, if I'm being honest. Thiago Silva. Like every time he plays, he seems to just do something, quite terrible. Yeah, but like he didn't start last night. So that just makes me feel like he probably then just comes in, doesn't he, for this game, regardless of how sort of bad he's been playing or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. There's only one card in kickoff unique. If I've got no goalie, I'm just up against it, aren't I? Big time.
Aye, but at least you'll get the coins. It's better than training, mate.
Oh yeah, it's better than training. Oh yeah, 100%. I'll put something in there. I just don't know if I'll be putting in like I'm quite tempted to just go for a 4-man 240 effort in Super Rare and just see if I'm just rolling the dice. I'm rolling the dice regardless. But yeah, you're right. I definitely will do a kickoff unique team of some sort. I just don't know. 240 rare or all-star rare plus. Am I shooting for the stars too much for the rare plus?
Rare plus has been solid, mate. I even find
there's only 25 card prize money places, if that makes sense. Obviously, there's cards down to 47, but I don't know. I think I'm just pushing the boat out a little bit, aren't I?
Yeah, I'd go for the 240 and hammer it.
Yeah, maybe just go for 240 because that team on if you go on Sorare data, the team comes in at 82 in that sense on the lineup builder. So if I get rid of Costa here, go Bazunu. So that's that. And then for that 240 effort, it comes in at, it's actually the suggested, this would be the team. Not captain. I wouldn't really captain Costa. I'd probably captain Spittle, but it's like an 81 team. If Yates plays, who's down at 70, Duke's at 60. But if we're going off the game they should have played but got called off, he was down to start that one. So all at home, it's probably I might as well just go for the Thrashy, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Is there a safer alternative to Duke if he is somewhat 60% or something? Just a question.
Kind of, yeah. Well, I say kind of. It means the things have to move around as far as I could go Elanga, but the issue is then I don't have enough cap to do much else, decent. Basically. Yeah, I could play Miyoshi here, who's got 2 games and things. I could move things around, kind of. But that means not playing Spittle, and I'm not in love with having to play him. But yeah, I don't know. I think I would go with what they're suggesting here. To be honest, go with the Duke. See what happens. I'm not. I'm not.
Wonder what my suggested thing would be.
Yeah, have a little look. Weezelmon's using his Duke. That's always good to know, Weezelmon. I appreciate that. I am always.
What are you going for? How are you going for the 240?
I'm going to do the 240. Yeah, I don't think I've got the legs to do it. A good all-star rare plus, to be honest. I'm leaving out so many supers, which is quite painful, to be honest. But it is what it is, isn't it? What's your one coming in at? It
goes Skorupski over Hart for all-star, which I get, but I don't think any of them are particularly good for a clean sheet. And I do think that Skorupski's he's still got a wee bit of that wild card. Fucking the manager likes the wee young kid goalkeeper nonsense going on. Last week, I was so surprised it might happen because they were playing Roma, but this week they are playing 17th in the table. It is a way. I really can't imagine dropping your keeper when you're 4th in the table, like they are. But see, that makes me that wee bit more hesitant on Skorupski for over Hart. So I'll just make that wee change. And then for this team, it picks itself. Captain Skorupski, but
wow, they love doing captain goalkeeper choices on Sorare data. I don't know what that is, to be honest. I don't really like the look of that. I'm not a fan.
So it's went with Castellanos. Oh wow! It puts Bernardo's. He's forecasted for the bench against Luton. It puts Bernardo way ahead of Nkunku for 78. For me, I don't think cap wise I could make that change because I've got Bernardo in 240. With Castellanos, who is also 37, and I think everyone else is I think what's Kyogo's L15? 42. Maeda's is 35. Yeah, I don't think I could make that change. I think I would need to stick with. So Moutinho's forecasted to play here. Kamada would be good against Frosinone, it thinks, as well as Malachi. But yeah, and Nkunku playing Luton surely is the play. But Castellanos here as well. That's interesting. So let's see what it throws into 240 then. If we save that. 240. It's just the lineup. It gets Burnley, it gets Kamada. But again, we don't have Guardiola because he's not playing. Taylor. Yeah, it's everything else, isn't it? That was the same.
Yeah.
Previous. What was the previous? Oh, Kamada. Kamada over. Well, we still don't need to do that. We can change him for Kamada anyway. So we know he's on to start. 73 rated. It's basically the same team, but it's Kyogo for Castellanos. And then what was the last team I made? 220 rare. It's basically the same team again, but we need Quattro in defence. And then Guedes for the bench. Yeah, it's the same play, basically. Save that. So what was the main difference? Castellanos over Kyogo in rare and super rare, basically. Kyogo getting bumped for an AA forwards.
I mean, it makes sense. I can see why it's done that.
It's probably quite fair, actually, isn't it? But okay, let's give it a shot. Can we share this tab instead? Let's see how that shakes out using another lineup. If we did put Kyogo in here, yeah, we've not got enough to make the Nkunku swap as well. 72 points he's carrying. So yeah, we need to keep that the way it is. That's pretty fine by me anyway. And then Castellanos in here with Nkunku, O'Reilly, Scales. It feels like a good team as well, doesn't it? 14% on Castellanos is powerful. Big Trubin and goals.
Very good team. I like the look of that.
Yeah, it's made a wee bit better, I suppose. Just hope Castellanos does the business now. And Cunha.
Yeah, I think Cunha will be fine, actually. I don't know. I got a good feeling about Cunha.
That Everton game, fans. Hopefully, man. Immobile is out. Yeah, Castellanos is on to start. I think there's some of the Lazio rotation, the decisions. I was reading a journalist this morning, DiMarzio, whatever his name is. He puts out some good articles. They're not always timely, but sometimes they're after deadlines and stuff. So they came out. I seen a Lazio one this morning, which I read, and it's like, yeah, a lot of injuries have forced. So the Lazio predicted team's just like pretty solid because I think they've not got many options. Yeah, everyone else is using the Duke. Maybe I'm just always scared I say something and then somebody plays a card that's a DNP or something like that. But yeah, we're 15 minutes to the deadline. I'm quite happy with the last minute. I think the last minute changes I've made on this occasion are maybe on the sensible side. Just get the AA, wee bit of XP shifted around. And yeah, I'm quite optimistic. How many teams there are decent? 5 teams? 5 strong teams?
Five-ish teams, isn't it?
Yeah. Happy enough with that. And Harry, you're finishing up with, you've got academy teams. Oh no, that's your 240. You're going with a 4-man 240 with one of them being a potential substitute defender. Is that how it's shaking?
Yeah, that's kind of, I'm just having a look on Play Sharper now just to see if anything's changed as far as like Nico and whatever. Badia Shield's at 60%. So I think Nico comes out. Yeah, but like he's behind both of the defense. Like he's not like sort of down to start at 60. Do you know what I'm saying? He's like 30 and 30 type of thing. Yeah, so and then Nico's still at 40. So I don't know. I think I still have to go for Badia Shield just in case, and then maybe throw a little Stravetza in there. Captain.
Badia Shield was injured, wasn't he?
He was. He started last night. Like he's sort of back in that sense. But like he's made a.
I don't know how you can play Disasi over Badia Shield, but if he is fit.
It's more Thiago Silva over because obviously he's left-footed in Badia Shield, so he's kind of. Outside of Levi Colwell, who's playing left back, he's the only like centre back who's left-footed out of Silva, Disasi, and Baddy. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. It is a weird one, and I agree. Yeah, I don't know how they're playing Disasi as well. To be honest,
disaster.
I don't know. So yeah, 240, and then we'll do a little kickoff. Should we do a kickoff unique or a under 20? You know what? I might do under 23 super rare DMP goalkeeper.
2-6. It's good. Toilet.
No worries. Zaydu in there. And we'll go a little wee Connor Barron in there. Why not? Captain Con. 2 little 4-man efforts. There's nothing. Yeah, why not? Why not? It's Christmas. Well, it was Christmas. So that means I'm leaving out. Or am I being stupid? Should I play Simeone in here? I probably should play Simeone. If I'm not going to sell him, I should probably play Simeone, right? He's 90% down to play. Do I just play Simeone over Stravetsa? It's a way better matchup, isn't it?
Can you not ditch Brennan out of all this? I think both of them are better than him, are they not?
Nah, Brennan at home to Bournemouth. Surely not. His AA has been pretty decent recently.
Fair.
If he gets a DA, you could look at probably a 70, 80 to be fair with him. But yeah, you know what? I'm going to back Simeone. Why not? I'll back him.
Yes, Simeone's starting for Napoli, man. I'd be taking that.
They play at 5:30 as well in the next sort of couple of hours, so I'm going to go with something like that. Moran's got 2 fixtures. Badiashile might not even play, so the lineup probably doesn't even matter in that sense.
Could happen, man. Could happen.
Weirder things have happened. It's annoying midweek, even though I'm coming out with a tier 4 super from 220. There was so when was it? It was Christmas. It was Boxing Day. I'll show you what I did actually. So, on Boxing Day, because we had the Tuesday deadline.
Yeah.
We had a situation where I had this whole lineup all playing at 3:00, so I knew everyone was starting.
Mate,
Go on, what's up?
Play Sharper has updated Napoli. Lindstrom on 70%. Simeone down to 30 now. He's off.
Okay, so we'll bump Simeone out. He's on the duty.
So Lindstrom must have had that late fitness check I mentioned before. There was a few of them getting tested. Him and Romani, I think was the other name I seen. I think he was already on the team, wasn't he? But it's Lindstrom now been upgraded to starting.
That's okay. We'll guess Stravetsa.
Good catch. Good catch, that man.
Yeah,
Mohamed Ayoube. Boom.
Mohamed's a top guy, to be fair. Good mates with Mohamed. But yeah, appreciate that. I did see there was a situation in the Play Sharper comments even before that change, saying that it's either going to be Raspadori or Simeone. It's not going to be both of them. So I kind of knew something was going on there with that. But appreciate the update for sure. But I basically had all these players playing Quinny at 3:00 last on Boxing Day. So I was like, you know what? Like they're all starting. Like this is a luxury to know that I've got a full 240 lineup. They're all starting. But it turned out that I kind of jumped the gun in that sense. Like I shouldn't have done that, obviously. I should have just went with because Yari scored 100. Lafatis scored 82 or 105. I had a DMP. I basically could have won this if I didn't play this Zanka guy. And if Brennan would have got me 6 or 7 more AA yesterday, I would have, got a tier 3, which is a bit annoying. And then Coop conceded in literally the 98th minute to concede 3. So, it's a miracle that I'm coming out with something, to be honest. But, you've got to take it at the end of the day. And Badiashile started when I didn't think he would. So, it was an interesting midweek. Like we said, we're both. You said you're coming out with a tier 4 as well, aren't you? In All-Star Super, is it? All-Star
So
Super?
the same problem we were just messing about there with the Cunha situation, etc. At the last minute, I took out John McGinn and I played Dyson Maeda. And I also had that whole Kyogo or Cunha thing that we did just now. Cunha obviously racked up a 70, McGinn get a 60.
Yeah.
And between Dyson and Kyogo together, they never really got done that. So I finished 14th. Even with McGinn, if I played McGinn and I had the extra on the Dyson Maeda, it would have been an extra 35 points or whatever it is, 33 points. Mm-hmm. It would have put me into the top 5, which would have been a tier 3 and a nice wee chunk of ETH. And if I had the balls to do the Cunha move, I would have won the thing.
Fucker.
Ish. If not second, I think actually seen the way the points have shaken out in the end, but podium all the same, sadly. So what was the scores again? Cunha 77. Oh, no, sorry. Cunha 68.5 and McGinn was a flat 60, I think. But then with the multipliers and bloody blahs. What is he? 60, McGinn. Yeah. So last minute made that change and it's cost me. So I'll be getting a rare freshie and a wee tier 4. And if it's another one of these DNPs, it's soon to not be a DNP. I won't mind as much.
Yeah, if that is the case, but Jesus, these DMPs, man, are hard to look at, aren't they? Jesus Christ. Especially when you're winning tier 3s and stuff. Like, I don't know. I know this is a rant in itself, but I don't know. I just don't think it should be as potent the higher up you go in that sense. Like, I get you need to put them in there. Like, I get them being in there. They make a lot of sense. But you can't just give them out to everyone every game week for the foreseeable. Like, because
especially in the higher tiers, like see the whole you would like to win works when he's injured, not as a star. You want him,
no, definitely.
You know, these DNP rewards. You want that's what makes the tier 5s better and the tier 4s better. That this guy when he's fit is actually a tier 3 or a tier 2 or whatever. It's not
the best thing about this game is winning rewards that you can use. Like, there's no better feeling than seeing a card and going, oh, actually, he just scored 70 in his last game. He's going into my next game week whenever he's available. If we're just winning DMPs, man, what's going on? Like, no one can do that.
Yeah.
Unless you get super lucky. I get it, tier 5s, I get it, tier 4s, but Jesus, man, for tier 3s and above, like, those 2 supers you won on, last game week. You should be over the moon with 2 tier 3 super rares, shouldn't you, really, if we're being honest? Yeah. Like, before opening the bloody rewards. But then you open them and you've got a DMP goalie who luckily is actually going to play the next couple of games because Morris got red carded, right? So you got like stupidly lucky there. I don't know if you know about that situation. Yeah. But regardless. So yeah, that wasn't factored into you getting him. And then obviously Danjuma, who's played 2 games off the bench in the last however many. So like, I know that fortunes can change and Danjuma might go on loan in January and he very well might. And I get it, but like, you can't just keep, like, you can't have every award doing this. Like, there's too many gambles in that sense. You want players who are just going to come in and play for your gallery. And I just don't see how it just frustrates me, man. I don't even want to win a card right now, as brutally as stupid as that sounds. I genuinely don't want to win a card unless it's a star. And even if it is a star, it could be someone that's injured. Like, I don't know. It's hard, mate. It's real hard.
I'm with Johnny. I don't mind as long as it's a halfway decent player. But I'm with you. Like this Imbrex guy, he shouldn't have been in. Like, I think he was
no chance.
I don't know. I can't remember what tier he was, but he's like
tier 3. You won 2 tier 3s. I remember looking at your Sorare data thing. Yeah, 100%.
2 T3s. Yeah, so like he's not a tier 3 in any reality.
No,
So yeah, but Danjuma, when he's fit and firing and stuff like that, he's playing all the time. Yeah, fine. Can deal with this.
Yeah, but he's probably a tier 3 when he's firing. Like, he shouldn't really be a tier 3 when he's not, should he? I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a real weird one.
You need to go way back for these big scores. This is like the championship, I think, against Reading, Derby, stuff like that. So you need to go way back for mad form. But yeah, tier 3, tier 2, probably at peak. You're right. Can't really see him in tier 1 or above unless he's like properly like on fire. Mm-hmm. But I did mention I brought in a Sorare goat. I've got myself a Danny Parejo.
Nice, fair play.
So he kind of dipped off this season a little bit. Yeah. He lost his set pieces to Alex Baena. And if you've been watching, Alex Baena had a bad injury and he's out for a while now.
Oh, no way.
Wow. In the last game, Baena didn't play because he's so badly injured. And look at Danny P. Dropped to a 98 pointer, didn't he?
Oh,
getting back on, getting his sets back, getting his groove back on. And I thought Danjuma would be going back to Villarreal because that's who owns him. And Everton are talking about cancelling his loan. They want to do other business with their budget. And I thought, brilliant. Well, if he's going back to Villarreal, Danny P was like, what's that, 60 quid? Just thought, Merry Christmas. I've got a Valencia collection already at 2%. I was
going to say, yeah, you do, don't you? That's lovely.
So he just walks in, gets a wee bonus right off the bat. And but anyway, Danjuma might not go to Villarreal, you were telling me before, but I thought that was good fun. And also over the Christmas period, I've mentioned it maybe somewhere, but I'll mention it now before the deadline as well. But I managed to get in jersey number Zakarian on auction.
Ooh, nice, mate. How much was that?
I think it was like around like where it had been going anyway. What did that? 0.06.
Okay.
111.
Yeah. Fair play.
Maybe a wee bit above. Like in season ones, we're going for about 100 anyway. Ish. And there was one there at 66. That's probably after the hype of me getting it, whatever. So he was on his start. So there's a wee bit of he's playing again, and then the DNP there.
Yeah.
But I was quite so I seen that on auction, Harry, and I thought, it's Christmas and stuff. Maybe the way some auctions will go a bit cheap. And when I seen that, I thought, well, I've got that Kubo first owner card, 40 points. And then by getting that, I've got 2 cards now on 2%. A nice wee 2 card collection. kicked in, which is good fun. So I've got 2% on Parejo for owning 5 cards, and I've got 2% on Zakarian or Zakarian or whatever for owning 2 cards, which is good fun. Yeah, so fun with collections. Nothing for Fekir, but I finally got a forward Fekir in. Let's see what happens with him. Bit of a punt on my behalf, but we'll see how it goes.
Yes. Cheeky little MLS move to LAFC or something. Something random. Join
that might be. That might be good fun. But yeah, the T3 rewards, we're not having a good time. Even this other goalkeeper I won, our DNP guy, I don't think he was T3. I think he may have been T4 or 5 or something. And that's 23. It was like the back end of the rewards. But they're just everywhere. For a tier 5 or whatever, you don't care as much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just really, I don't know. I should want to win cards, Quinny, right? That's the aim of this game. Really. Yeah. Like, I just don't know how. I know things might take a little while to get right, or however long it takes, but like, I don't know. Just give me that feeling of wanting to win cards. I know that sounds quite entitled or whatever, like but that's just how it is. I'm just telling you how it is, and unfortunately, but McBride does thankfully agree with me. I don't know. I just think you gotta want me to want to win. You want your customers to want to win cards at the end of the day, and if most of them are feeling like they don't want to, there's something wrong. Simple as. Yeah. So you have to fix that. It's only in your control to fix that, and that needs to happen as soon as possible.
Big time. So I'm hoping that the rewards finally kick themselves out, but also it is quite a shallow game week, and it's not always the game weeks that have less. I know we're all excited because we're all playing, but it is only like England, Italy, Scotland that have got matches, really, isn't it? There's a few games here and there outside of that. So that's where I'm always like, I temper my expectations on rewards in the quieter game weeks, even though they're the ones I expect to hit on the leaderboard a bit higher and maybe do a bit better on. I'm always conscious of there's less games, so it just means generally prize quality goes down. But even the last game week before the winter break and stuff like that, when all the leagues were on, is when this kind of started, and it was kind of naff. So I'll, hopefully that we get a wee ahead of schedule improvement is what I'm saying. 1 minute to deadline.
Yeah, we got 1 minute to go. I just managed to sell my Elanga rare card, by the way. So thank you to whoever bought him. Hopefully he scores against his ex-Club United this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty happy. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the game week sort of goes, but
we'll hang about after the deadline for a minute. Connor reckons I should have some good teams. I've not looked ahead. I normally do that when me and Harry sit and shoot the breeze afterwards, but I guess we'll do that a wee bit earlier. And we'll have a wee crack open, and next week, midweek, have a wee peek at it.
I don't think I got anything, maybe. Let's have a little butchers.
I've got no idea what's on.
I've got, Campalapi. He might have lost his job for Bruggen. I think, La Liga's back, to be fair, so that could be something.
And that's us locked in for the game week. Good luck, everyone. I'll let the wee refresh tab. Let's have a peek at the midweek then that we're going to be welcoming coming up. So I've got no idea where to even start. Well, I'll delete old lineups first of all, of course. Delete old lineups. Shat myself there for I said 13. But I just deleted my teams. Don't freak out now. There we go, sorted. They're there. They've not went anywhere. Good. Whew. I did the right thing. In the end. Played Quinny and McGinn. But anyway, on to the midweek. Coming up, let's have a wee peek and a gander at the matches tab first of all. So we've got Scotland on again. Oh, cool. So Celtic away at St Mirren. La Liga's on. So we've got La Liga back, which is good for me. Oh, Girona versus Atleti, but isn't a lot of fun for me. One game in the Prem. Oh, wow. Yeah, this should be my game week. La Liga in Scotland. Wow, this should be good. So what do I have? Yeah, wow. I've got lots of defenders to choose from. I've got Couto, Taylor, Tierney, Starfelt and Scales. Double midfield unique possible. McGregor, Martin, Llorente, Braze is back in town. Roca, Yangel. Lots of midfield options here. Up front, Oyarzabal, Kyogo, Dyson. Unal was on the squad before the little break there. I don't know if I can see him starting against Vallecano, but maybe he's a DNP L15 0 card for this game week. But yeah, man, I should have some good teams, certainly. I don't see me struggling for lineups, and this one.
Yeah, that could be
Should be
tasty.
good.
That really tasty.
Yeah. In 240, I could probably do something quite good as well, I suppose. Sorry, it's cheap on 44. Tierney's really good as well for 54 if we can afford him. Bray's at 50. Would I put Oyarzabal in here? Or would I put Kyogo? Probably Kyogo's is cheaper. And then I don't really need him. Llorente to fill out, or Roca. Roca's playing Celta. Celta have been quite rubbish. Lots of options. Kyogo dies and yeah, we've got lots of great teams, man. I'm actually really hyped now for the midweek. I should really be commanding a podium or two there, Harry, shouldn't I? What about Rare? What are we doing?
Yeah, mate, 100%. It's a tiny game week as far as like, there's not that many games going on. So it's basically La Liga and Scotland and a bit of, I think Turkey have a game or two. But yeah, mate, this should be a game week more than, not to say this weekend won't be, but, matchup wise and what's against you in that sense, you've definitely got a better advantage this midweek coming up. 100%. Big Danny P in there.
Yeah, good. Glad I've got that now. Yeah, so I've got 3 rare keepers. I'll have Welsh might play this game as well, I suspect. Maybe Savic, I'm not sure what his deal is. I've maybe got enough. Yeah, I've probably got enough defenders for the goalkeepers. But midfield, O'Reilly, Danny P. I don't know what the deal with Ferran is. Boateng will play, but he's not a big scorer.
Yeah. Could be
It's a carrying.
40, though.
In and out, yeah.
Yeah.
And then up front, Jesus, Savio, Take up top. And then all the Celtic forwards. Maxi Gomez, L15, 33. It's good for 33.
To be fair, he's starting now. He is back in the side because Roger Matry maybe did his Achilles or something. So that's something. Yeah,
I've probably just about got the forwards as well. I should probably have 5 better teams out in the midweek. Oh, I'll be Mr. Midweek, Harry. That'll be me.
Yeah, big time. No, you will be 100%, mate. I think you've got a wicked chance in a couple of them. Definitely.
What's at the top? Tier 1 and a bit of money. That's not great, but as long as it's a good tier 1, I can live with it. 240. Do we maybe want to prioritise that? Oh, we've got a U and that tier 2. Yeah, probably stick with the All-Star.
Depends how the L15s.
And then, good podium there. What about Pro? But I could probably boss Pro with some of the cards I've got. All-Star Plus.
A couple of good cards in there. Hart, O'Reilly. I'm just thinking of the rares. And then you could go Scales, Super. Or you could even go Joe Hart, Super. But yeah.
Yeah. Just going to kind of hodgepodge something. Just randomly. See if it kind of stuck.
Kubo, maybe? Yeah, Kubo. Is he injured, Kubo?
He had that wee thing on him. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
maybe like that rocker. I could probably that's a throwaway kind of pro team. I could probably get something decent, I suspect. I'm looking forward to tune that over the next couple of days, but that's for another time. Thanks very much, Connor, for that. I had good fun with it. And good luck to everyone this game week and GF as well. And don't forget to catch us on Celtsar here later today for the Derby preview, and we'll be giving away some tickets to that as well. Harry, thanks a lot, mate. Good luck this game week.
Been a pleasure, lads. All the best.
Fist bump. Good luck to everyone at home. Have a good one, and Happy New Year when it comes.